T.J. Hooker returns next week at this time. Now a special presentation.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Terrificon, Connecticut's biggest Comic Con, is back at the Mohegan Sun Expo Center in Uncasville, Connecticut on August 16th through the 18th. See your favorite stars from TV and film and shop for comic books, toys, and memorabilia. With top creators from Marvel and DC, costume contests with prizes, and so much more. Tickets on sale now at terrificon.com.
Hello, welcome to episode 82.
Sure.
82. I
Sure.
gotta tell you, Johnny. I gotta tell you, and Scoot. There's Johnny. There's Scoot. I'm Franco. Hi. I gotta tell you, us doing these podcasts once every 3 to 6 months at an undetermined, unspecified, unscheduled, and unannounced time is really, really building our audience.
No question.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah, no question. Exactly. Look for us the way you look for a stiff wind in the Arizona desert. Ain't gonna happen.
Oh, I thought that was a sexual reference of some sort.
It is a sexual reference.
Oh.
So, and see if anything gets hard while you're out there. Hey now.
Just
Hey
cactus.
now.
Just cactus.
Hey,
Hi, welcome to episode 98 of the Yeah podcast.
Sure.
82 of the Yeah podcast. I am one of the hosts, Franco. There's John Suntress over there, and there's a Scooter Pie.
It might be episode 82 of Franco and Clanko, though. We've done a lot of these.
That could very well be. Although you're here too.
This wasn't officially.
Yeah, Franco and Clanko is really just a me and Francis conversation.
Yeah, you're here, and Artie may come. Well, we're not sure. We'll see.
I'm betting no.
But
I forgot to send him the link. I can send him the link.
Yeah, send him a link and say just in case. We'll be on for like 4 hours tonight because we're going to try and make up for the.
I will.
We're going to try and make up for the days we didn't pod, and hopefully there's at least one person watching, listening, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, we've got people.
People.
We haven't podded since Skoke came to Toledo for the Mud Hens Jamie Farr game, birthday game.
Hey, yeah, but you got to remember, I'm on a couple times a week, so. I think there are Word Balloon viewers and listeners that are very happy no matter what. I had Wednesday, my friend Tom Nagovin from Century Guild, who is a really interesting project. I imagine Scoop might be too young, but he may have heard of this movie. Francis, do you remember in 1980, Bob Guccione of Penthouse Magazine produced a movie called Caligula? There it is. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Helen Mirren. Oof.
Helen Mirren, 1980. Very young Malcolm McDowell, coming off of like his greatest decade of
the unsung hero of that story, that movie, the horse that's in the
right.
movie.
Correct.
Yep.
Hi Jerry, thanks for watching. So, Tom found this. Whoever now owns the Bob Guccione assets was going through whatever was left, and they're going through all the line items, and it's like, guess what? In a warehouse, there are boxes of film stock of Caligula, over 100 hours of what they shot. Because what happened was, if people don't know, Bob Guccione wanted to make an epic movie, but also wanted it to have porn in it, basically.
Yeah.
So he hired this Italian director. He hired this amazing cast of Malcolm McDowell, Helen Mirren, John Gielgud, Arthur's butler, for people who don't know who the great John Gielgud was, and Peter O'Toole. And they did this amazing Roman epic. And Guccione was unsatisfied with the sex scenes that he was getting, because Caligula was crazy and threw a lot of, as did many of the Roman emperors, a lot of orgies, a lot of crazy stuff and everything. And
A regular Saturday night for a Roman.
For a Roman, during the Roman Empire, absolutely. I'll see you after the orgy. All right, Francis, good talking to you. But
how many times do you think about the Roman Empire? That was a meme that was going around a while ago.
But so Guccione, to supplement what was being shot, flew in another director and a whole bunch of hot penthouse kind of playmate or whatever pets, and shot even more graphic scenes and really ruined the story. By the way, script written by the great Gore Vidal, one of the smartest guys of the 20th century. I mean, really, like this, like high end, like a lot of cool people.
How do you get a name like Gore Vidal? Are his parents like into horror films or something? What?
Well, Gore, he's related to Al Gore.
Oh.
Al Gore was related, and that's how his first name is Gore.
Oh, interesting.
Family name, I'm assuming.
But he wasn't roommates with Tommy Lee Jones, so.
But his grandfather was either a senator or a congressman, Gore Vidal's, and was like and also Gore was very tight with the Kennedys in the early '60s and everything. Anyway, regardless, so Guccione comes in, films a lot of porn scenes, ruins the movie, but it's kind of infamous, like Debbie Does Dallas or Deep Throat.
Yeah,
it makes a ton of money. Everybody wants to see it. Because also it has name actors in this porn movie.
Right.
I didn't know that the other crew was shooting all the really dirty scenes and stuff. So it became this embarrassment for both McDowell and Mirren that, we made this movie, whatever. They don't even want to talk about it anymore. And Tom and his partner, the editor, Aaron, I forget Aaron's last name, but they went in and reassembled the movie and took out a lot and minimized a lot of there's still a lot of nudity in the movie and the orgies, and a lot of the very graphic sex scenes are still in there. The horse I might have missed, but regardless, they turned it into a watchable movie, and McDowell is so appreciative of it that he's even going out and doing Q&As and stuff, because he's like,
really? Wow.
Yeah, and it's this lost performance. And it's kind of cool that Malcolm McDowell at 81 has like a new movie out that a lot of people haven't seen, certainly this generation. And it's, he's great in it. It's definitely a hit and miss movie, but he is amazing in it. And Tom, the guy who produced it, good friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, hey, come on, Word Balloon. And I was really impressed with the amount of people that we had watching and listening. So
that's cool. Thank
you, everybody. Steve says Malcolm McDowell said Caligula is being released without sex scenes. Yeah, and it's coming out like right now. It's at a few festivals and a few screenings, Q&A things. Then it's going to stream, and then eventually it will be on DVD and Blu-ray and the like.
But also Helen Mirren. Oof, oh boy, she's Louise.
Yep,
she's a hottie at any age. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, well, and especially back then, it was like, hey, Helen, listen, the scene or the role might require some nudity. Oh, you're already naked. All right, roll it. She was always naked. She's naked in Excalibur as Morgan Le Fay.
Yep. Yeah, she was also naked in Calendar Girls a few years ago.
Yes, she was.
So
she's a lovely woman.
I'm a fan. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
But
it's cool and it's interesting because like Peter O'Toole plays Tiberius. Hello, Tiberius. And he's crazy and he's really good. He's in the first act of the movie. But they did a really good job of taking the crap out and turning it into a really interesting movie. So I'm fascinated. And I was just like, again, being able to restore the original intent of the director and McDowell. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And yeah, Tom's a good friend. So I'm like, oh yeah, let me Let's talk about it. I knew I wasn't going to get Malcolm McDowell.
It's been or Bob Guccione.
He's dead now, sir.
Yeah, no, that's
He
why.
no longer dines here. He's dead now, sir.
That's why I said you wouldn't be able to get
Can
him.
I used to do Guccione's voice imitate. I used to do Guccione in the 90s because he used to. I don't know if you remember. Beyond Penthouse commercials, he would do commercials for his science fiction magazine, Omni,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
which actually had science fact in it as well as fiction. But yeah, and he'd be like, in the latest Omni, you'll find out about the advances in cloning, all about artificial satellites, and will we be ruled one day by artificial intelligence? It's like that great voice, Omni.
I miss magazines. I don't think
Me too, man.
looked through or read a magazine. I remember I would get Heavy Metal. I would get
Yes.
Omni. I would get the occasional Playboy when I could get away with it. Buying it in the drugstore.
Totally.
Even
There-
though I was underage.
Downtown, well, actually, both in Evanston and in Chicago, there were 3 incredible magazine / book / newsstands that carried everything. And I would get film magazines, and they would even carry Comics Journal and some of the other comic book critique publications and stuff. And you're right, man. No, I'd have a field day. And now when I do see magazines, they're weird specials, and they're like $20 an issue.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spend $20 on an issue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I would buy the occasional Rolling Stone magazine.
Sure.
Remember the Wizard magazines were big?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay, grade school guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's where our
Wizard
audience
came out
probably
like
would.
last week.
Exactly.
In our timeline, mine and John's timeline.
Yeah, we're talking about
last
ancient. Yeah.
Remember
I mean, we're not
Sports
bringing up-
Illustrated?
Yeah, that dude, the slow death by cuts, 1,000 cuts of Sports Illustrated has been the most depressing thing to be aware of for the last couple years.
Yeah, that was like the big one.
Yeah.
They suck now. They suck. I mean, I don't even know if I don't think they publish a physical magazine anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And the people that own the brand are really just interested in owning the brand. And my God, think of how long that magazine was the magazine of record.
Yeah.
As far as covering sports. And man, so many prestigious writers that wrote for it, and incredible photography.
And crossed over the boundary into the Sports Illustrated swimsuit, which my God was like a huge seller every year.
Well, and that still
Yeah.
might be one of those special things that they'll put out.
I don't even know if they
pardon
do
me.
that anymore. Honestly,
I thought they did this year.
it's possible, but I mean, who's looking at that thing now when you can find stuff on the internet? But
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Although that's when we discover hot models, that's where Brooklyn Decker came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Well, back in my days, Christy Brinkley and stuff like that. Oof.
absolutely, man.
Did I ever tell you about the? This is, I don't know. I guess it's a
Peter?
little risque, but my big Playboy stash that I found when I was a kid. Did I tell you about this?
No, in the woods.
Well, no, mostly. So my family had this restaurant, and it was in like a strip mall. So behind the restaurant there were dumpsters, and I would go dumpster diving all the time, and I would find cool stuff. I would find these big cardboard boxes. I would build cardboard cities out of them. I was like, teenager or whatever, young teenager, like 12, 13, whatever. I would build these cool forts out of them, and I would find toys. And once I found sports equipment that was kind of cool, like a whole bunch of baseballs and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I knew which ones, don't go in the Chinese restaurant dumpster. That's one you don't go in because that's all food, and it smells like onions and stuff like that. So you don't go in that one. You learn which dumpster to go into and which one you don't. And there was one that I never went in, and that was the beauty salon. But the guy ran. It was a guy that ran the beauty salon, and he had long hair, and he looked cool. He had all the chicks because he would do their hair and stuff like that. But one day, I don't know what made me look at it, but I look at it, and there's a box, and it's closed up, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta look in this box. So I get the box, and it's a huge box, and it's full of Playboys, and I'm like, oh man, I just hit the mother load here, So I pull this thing out of the dumpster, and I can't bring it back to the restaurant because my parents are there.
Right.
So behind the dumpsters and everything, there was a little stream, and then there was woods behind it. So I dragged the box in the woods, and I'm like, all right, I got to figure out. I got to take the day and figure out how I'm going to get these things home, right? So I left the box out there, and it rained that evening.
Oh no!
I mean, like monsoon rain. It wasn't like a
Aw.
little rain. It was a monsoon rain, and I go out there the next day. The box is like falling apart from the weight of the magazines inside and the water. I mean, the water, you figure, okay, maybe the first couple of Playboys were ruined, but they all the way down. They were soaked all the way down. All the pages were like wet. I'm like, oh, and it broke my little heart back then. It still breaks my
Sure.
heart to this day. But
That's
yeah.
very sad.
Those
Yeah,
are probably worth money now.
I wouldn't go that far.
yeah, I don't think so.
I think I've told you guys now that we're on this very interesting subject. I was a sidekick to these two former Chicago celebrity sports players, Norm Van Leer of the Bulls and Doug Buffon of the Bears, and their prime years were the 70s. And they were young, good-looking guys. Doug looked like Matt LeBlanc from Friends, Joey.
Oh boy.
And Norm always was mistaken for Bill Cosby.
Oh, you see.
Even into his senior years, looked like, no, you see. And so two good-looking guys in the 70s, and Norm was on that really great 70s Bulls team that they never won a title, but they would threaten in the playoffs and stuff. And anyway, and Doug was part of that era of the Bears where we would have losing records, but he was on the defense, and the defense would beat the hell out of the offensive team. And yeah, they'd win, but they'd have a lot of their guys on stretchers after games because, guys, he learned at the feet of Dick Butkus. And, kill. Yes, Dick. Gladly. Well, anyway, this is when Playboy still had its offices in Chicago before they moved out fully to L.A. So the magazine was, based here, and they ended up dating. I don't know how about we were doing the morning show one day, and the subject of Playboy came up, and one of them goes to the other, "Hey, Norm, Vicky Cunningham." "Oh, Vicky Cunningham! Oh my God!" And apparently, they both enjoyed the company of the early '70s playmate. And I'm like, "Well, what?" And they're like, "Oh, we both dated her at various times, blah blah blah." And they're telling me really graphic stories about Vicky Cunningham. and there used to be a shop in this one little town called Magazine Memories, and it specialized in old magazines. So I went there one day, and I went hunting for the issue where Vicky Cunningham was the centerfold. It was like 73, if anyone wants to know about Vicky Cunningham.
I also believe it was July, and it came out on the second Tuesday of July. No, I'm like, just to get into specifics, but no.
I knew that. So anyway, well, I'm saying if people want to maybe look up her photos, there you can find them. Vicky Cunningham, Playboy. So the next day I bring in the magazine, and for like an hour they're just laughing and telling stories about her both on and off the air. And they were all single, they all had a good time, and that's the end of the story. But anyway, that's actually we encountered at our sports radio station a lot of former playmates. Pat Collins, was that her name? There was one really famous one, because she really did a lot to do USO shows for the troops in Vietnam, and really became associated with always volunteering to go back to Vietnam and entertain troops and stuff. And I met her in the 90s. She was a really nice lady, but it was great because she was totally like Chicago street. Yeah, I would go out for the Army over by there and entertain the boys. Nice. It's
Nice.
like, okay. Outstanding. I'm going to buy you a shot and a beer, and we'll meet behind the barracks, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was interesting. And I actually never met Hef, but Christy, his daughter, met her a few times over the years because, again,
she took over after him, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yep. And a couple of my friends who worked in media worked for them for a while in the magazine department and stuff. Take off your clothes. Hey, it's nice. So that's nice. Can you kind of lean more towards the fans so we can get your hair blown over by there?
a lot of Chicago girls, huh?
That's right.
Interesting. Yeah, those are
So
the tales of my youth. I
there
tell
you go. Well, you see, I had an older stepbrother, and he was 7 years older. So I ran into his Playboy and Penthouse stash. That's when I first heard about Caligula, because Guccione was promoting the hell out of it in Penthouse, obviously.
I remember those. Yeah.
So, where'd you get your first porno magazine, Scoot?
It
was called the internet for him.
Yeah, no one read them. Yeah, growing up.
Yeah. See,
I grew up.
This is why we have Scoot around for the young people's perspective.
Gen Z.
You know.
No, I do remember some. It was just like everyone's story. Some kid had one, and then I don't know why everyone always goes into the woods, but we went by.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I suggested.
Everybody goes into the woods. There's a lot of people still out there.
Yeah,
a lot of porn
in magazines in the woods. Yeah.
There's a lot of porn. I mean, a lot of people still out in the woods. They never came back.
I wonder if, like, and forgive me for staying on this porn subject, but really, it's like, you used to go to like, the gas stations and 7-Eleven, and you'd see porn magazines all over the place.
Yeah.
And did the internet pretty much wipe that industry out completely?
Well, that's what I was just saying.
I think so.
Magazines in general, I used to get a whole bunch of different magazines. Like,
sure.
I used to look forward to Heavy Metal. That was an adult magazine as well, with adult stories. I remember reading Den and all those stories, and they had artists. I remember they had artists, international artists, like that. There was this one Italian artist that did this one book, this one story in there. I forget who it was, but marveling at this thing all the time. And then one by one, these things went the way of the wind, basically.
Well,
because
actually,
but also all these stores don't carry anything anymore. Like, they'll have a little magazine section of People or whatever. But
it's People and it's bride magazines. Right. That's pretty much what.
Or cooking, if you're in the supermarket.
Or cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of DIY magazines. That's true. Yeah.
But there were illustration magazines, and
yes,
and, there still are. I mean, if you go to, but even the Barnes and Noble that's here, that I used to go to, was a big Barnes and Noble, and I loved it. They had a big magazine section, so they still had magazines, but a few years ago, they closed down and moved to another location, and they upscaled or whatever, which means they don't have any magazines anymore. And they have these different sections, and it's a lot smaller, and there's a lot more toys, and there's a coffee shop. It's just not books anymore.
No, I understand.
When I was a kid, I used to go to this place, and it was called, I don't know if you had them over by you, but here we had them. They were called Book and Record. And it was a store that was just books and records, and you would go in, and half the store was records and music, and the other half was book. I was never really interested in the records, but I remember that's where I found the Frazetta Tarzan books, the covers and stuff like that. Yeah. I used to love those things, and I would go in and look at those covers and buy the books and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, we had Tower Records made it to Chicago, and there's a great documentary about the rise and fall of Tower Records and how big they were for music. But they also had a book section, a video section, and that was an amazing video section, and a magazine section. And the one big central located tower was right by Lincoln Park Zoo and right by Lake Michigan. So I would park, spend an hour at Tower browsing and stuff, and then I would walk across the street to Lincoln Park Zoo, which is a free zoo, and I would hang out. I would hang out at the zoo. I would watch the baby seals in particular, because they were right by the one entrance that I would go to that was near Tower Records. But Tower was amazing, and had they had a giant classical section. They had a giant jazz and movie soundtrack sections. They were just really like them, and then bands would come and play live there if they had a new album out or whatever. Unbelievable place. And actually, the mall that it was in the basement had Moondog Comics, which was a great comic store from the 70s and 80s.
Chicago based,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, it had Moondogs out here in the late early 90s. We had Moondogs close by, but they didn't last very long.
No, they expanded to they expanded too far, and that kind of cost them the company. Gary Colombo, who was the head of Moondogs, when it was still independent, and also worked for them when the company bought them and everything. He's been on Word Balloon. He has an ash can of the first Superboy title, and it had nothing to do as far as the interiors, but it was one of those original black and white ash cans that they made, to protect the trademark and the logo, just to get something out there. And I think he sold it in the last year or two for over $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was kind of a significant ash can.
Talking of comics and books, you should go out and pre-order Flash Gordon, the Adventures from myself and Art Baltazar. It comes out in November, but you can pre-order now, so you should probably do that.
Very true.
I'm just saying, because I'll forget to do that.
Steve says Time Magazine cover story for 1976 King Kong had a few pics of Jessica Lange in Kong's hand. You can see exposed check after Kong caresses Jessica. Yes,
I remember
Yes.
that, and I had that issue because I bought the issue of Time Magazine because King Kong was on it, and I remember that. And I've told people, I said, hey, there were nude pictures of Jessica Lange in a magazine, and I remember Kong's finger hitting her and dropping her dress and stuff like that, and you can see her breast, and people are like, nah, you made that up. I'm like, no, dude, I remember that. And so I'm glad. Who was it that said that?
Steve said that. Yep.
Yeah. Steve Small. Yeah. I remember that, Steve.
I remember
that very well.
In that same era, there were two different Cheryl Tiegs pictures. There was one in Time Magazine that she had a red bathing suit on, but it wasn't see-through, but you didn't need your x-ray specs to figure out what her body looked like. And that was pretty impressive. And then there was a really embarrassing one for her where it was, I believe, a Sports Illustrated swimsuit picture where it was white and it was kind of it looked like it was crocheted on the top, but it had
I remember that as well.
mesh on the bottom. And she stepped out of the pool and it was totally see-through. Yeah. So, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The perf from Canada, Wayne, remembers that too. There you go. Fantastic. Outstanding, Wayne. Get well, Wayne. We're bummed that you're not coming with us to Terrificon.
Yeah.
Which is starting, everybody, next Friday, this coming Friday. So Franco and I will actually be able to smell each other for a while.
Oh, I'm going to stay away from you if that's...
I'll bathe. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Cooper says Dark Horse just released the second volume of Richard Corbin's Den. It's fantastic work, and the books are gorgeous. I have no doubt.
Yeah. There was also... I loved all the stories in Heavy Metal, but there was one... I want to say that it was called Zora. I could be wrong. I think it was an Italian artist, and I just fell in love with this guy's artwork.
Yeah.
If only there was some sort of handheld device where I could look this stuff up.
Richard Corbin did some good Ninja Turtle covers. Do you ever look those up, Franco?
No, I've seen them. Yeah.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, he has a very distinct style. You can't.
Oh yeah.
You can't not know that's him.
Yeah, that's one that I missed. I would have loved to have had a conversation with Richard Corbin. Did someone? I know, and shame on me, everybody, and maybe somebody in the chat knows. I know that we've had a recent one or two comic book deaths that we don't, we could probably acknowledge. Who I was talking to, and he's not dead. He's very much alive and very funny.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alan Weiss from Marvel, one of the great Marvel artists of the 70s and 80s, and a guy that followed Shooter to the various publications Shooter was doing in the 90s. But he's cool. Oh, there you go. Zora, stand by.
Fernando Fernandez. Zora.
Nice.
I remember this. I want to pick this up because I remember these specific stories being in Heavy Metal. And I loved them, yeah. But back then it sucked. Sorry, I interrupted you, Johnny. But it sucked because sometimes I would miss the issue that month. Like it would get sold out before I got there and stuff like that.
That was still happening like in the 90s when I would I was trying to collect comics and I would go to the 7-Eleven by my house and I'd be like in the middle of like an X-Men run or Batman run and they just wouldn't get an issue, but then the next month after that they would get the right issue. Like let's say I'm reading August and I go there in September, they don't get it. I ask them and they're like, oh yeah, we should be getting it. And then like in October they get the October issue, but I would never get that one. And then I didn't even know comic book stores existed back then. So it was like I would go down the road to a different convenience store and see if they had the issue. So it was like that's what you had to do back then, was drive around. And the video store had comics nearby. So it was like all these places actually back then, comics were easier to find because all these little drugstores and places by my house, like there were like 5 different places that had spinner racks, and you could usually find what you were looking for.
Absolutely.
One of them would have it. So,
real fast aside, ChemDog, you're right. I was thinking of one person, Joyce Bamber, Harvey Picard. So, wasn't that how you say her last name? I think it's Bamber. But yeah, she just passed away, which is a shame. And she worked on a lot of Harvey's books as well as doing her own thing, and was a very important activist as well. And thank you, Wayne. Jose Villaruby. Oh, excuse me. No, I thought he had passed away, but he's recoloring the Dark Horse Corbin stuff. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, it was, well, again, it was a different time. I mean, it's funny, Scoot, because, we had a lot of drugstores and newsstands and even, dare I say, candy stores back in the day that would carry comics and stuff. And I only started going to direct market stores very late 70s. Maybe 79 or 80. And then in the 80s, there were enough direct market stores.
Yeah, the 80s was when I started going to direct market stores.
Yeah. And that was so cool that you walk. I mean, and now it's obviously everyone knows about it, but, that was so novel. That's like, wait a minute, all this store sells is comic books and posters of comic books? Really? And you're able to have a business like that? All right.
Good luck with that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck staying in business.
Happy anniversary, all yeah comics.
Yeah. Oh, it is our anniversary. That's right.
So,
we've been open for quite a few years. I like that everybody told us that we shouldn't do it and that we won't be open for more than a couple of years. So
I said that. I'll admit it. I said that, and I didn't say that of like any snideness or anything. It literally was like, I don't want you guys to take a bath on a bad idea. Are you sure you want to do that? Because all my relatives
like you now, Johnny.
No, I'm proud of you. Absolutely.
No, I like that our relationship has always been you saying I'm wrong, and I'm always right. I love that.
I literally, my friend Gary, who you met at the ALA weekend, Franco, I was telling him, I swear to God, this weekend, I'm like, always like trips me up on a fact, Franco. I'm like, I'm always dead convinced. Gary and I were talking about Dan Aykroyd characters on SNL. And there was E. Buzz Miller, and then there was a guy, Erwin Mainway. And I was
Mainway Toys.
Right. And I was getting E. Buzz Miller confused that he was the president of Mainway Toys, and he would do Bag of Glass for Kids and Johnny Human Torch or the Invisible Man, and it would just be a dry cleaning plastic cover and with a rubber band, and that's how you were a ghost or you were invisible. And hilarious. But that was Erwin Mainway, and E. Buzz Miller was like great. It was like a bad basic cable show or cable access show, like Great Moments in Art. And he's showing like paintings from the Renaissance that are nudes. And he's like, I swear to God, they name of this artist Titian. And Lorraine Newman would sit next to him, Christina. And she was like in a leopard leotard and everything and just giggling like a bad stripper or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, and he's like, no, that's two different characters, man. Erwin Mainway. I'm like, it wasn't the company and Buzz ran it? No. And I go, man, that's like Franco getting me, surprising me and doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
Wayne says he used to take a 20-minute bus ride to go to and from his first direct market comic book store. Yeah, man. No, I do the same stuff. Absolutely. And Cooper says in those first direct market comic book stores were magical back in the day. Absolutely, man. No, it was thrilling.
Yeah, because I would buy mine from the local drugstore, and it was a local drugstore, like big chains like Rite Aid or Walgreens or something like that. They wouldn't have comics back here anyway back then. So it was like a local one, and then we sold that restaurant. My parents sold that restaurant and had a different one. And then I couldn't, that was in Poughkeepsie, which was like about an hour away from where we live now. But then, yeah, there was a time there where I wasn't getting any comics, so I did mail order comics, which sucked, which was good, but sucked. But because they wouldn't ship every month, they would ship like every other month just to save on postage. So that's the time when Secret Wars was coming out, and I'm like,
God.
oh man, I gotta read Secret Wars, and I would get like 3 issues at a time of Secret Wars in the mail. When everybody, well, actually, who am I kidding? I didn't have any friends that I was talking about stuff. So,
do you remember the name of your mail order company?
I don't.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah,
Mile High or somebody like that,
I don't remember. Yeah.
Wayne says that the direct market, that's where he first was introduced to the 2000 AD reprints by Titan. Yeah, me too, man. No, a lot of foreign comics. That was my first exposure to them. And ChemDog remembers those great mom and pop stores. Yeah, man. Again, different economy back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
We had one in Skokie, actually, ironically. Not near the store, more towards where the L trains are. And it was a newsstand, and it was called the News Depot. And in the back room, they had tons of old comics. And man, if I knew then what I know now, I can't tell you how many Bronze Age and even Silver Age comics I would have found for nothing, and grabbed them all and stuff. And it's so many 80-page giants from DC and Marvel annuals, and again, really old like 60s and 70s Marvel annuals. Where Monsters Dwell, when they would reprint all the Atlas monster stuff from the pre-Marvel era. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
I'm telling you.
You know where they had comics, Johnny?
Where?
San Diego Comic-Con. Well,
Tell me about it.
They had some comics.
I heard about it.
Yeah. Just went. It beat me up. It was 5 days of harsh reality for me. Harsh reality of me getting older. And we have fans. We have fans of the podcast, fans of the comics, and it always humbles me. But I'll tell you one story. I had to go back to the hotel. I was on the show floor, so we were staying at the Hilton Bayfront, which is at the end of the convention center.
Yep.
So I walked over there from my table to there. It took me about 15 minutes to get back to the hotel. Got there, got my stuff, came back, and when I came back, if you come to the convention center from the Hilton Bayfront, there's a little walkway where you go right by Hall H. And I was walking back, and there's a traffic cop who stopped me because it was crossing traffic. So he stopped me, and I wish he hadn't stopped me, because when I came back and he let me through, I got there, and just as I got onto the sidewalk, Hall H opened up.
Oh no!
Everybody came out, and I thought I was in the movie Alien, because everybody came out with face huggers on, because they had just done the trailer.
Yeah.
And they had done the Alien panel, and everybody had Alien face huggers on, and it took me, I kid you not, 45 minutes to get to my table because I was stuck.
I did at least 10, and I know you've done more, San Diego's. I've never been inside Hall H. Never.
No, me neither.
Never.
I've never wanted to wait for 5 days on a line.
Yeah, and really plan on spending the entire day there.
Well, people like they camp out overnight.
Of course they
I don't
do.
get it. Like, I mean, I sort of maybe, but I don't.
I'm always amazed when it's evening and we're outside of the convention center, and there are people camping out on those little man-made hills that surround the convention center and stuff. Yeah, they've got staircases, but there are also like grassy hills, and there are people out there with their sleeping bags, and that's where they're staying.
What do you think they smell like?
I don't even want to think about it.
Because
if they're smart, I'd like to think that even me, when I even for Terrificon in my bag, I will have like baby wipes, so that if I am not in my hotel room for a few hours, that I'll stop
like,
in the restroom and just like.
If you have an accident on the way
No,
down?
no, but I mean, they smell like baby powder or whatever, so they smell better. And I'll have whatchamacall, a deodorant with me. I mean, because I don't want to stink. I mean, as Artie says, he's like, for a big guy, you don't stink, and I'm like, well, I try hard.
He stinks, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
so. Wayne
that's
has
good.
well, first of all, Jakiro says we smell like victory. Absolutely, man. And Wayne says I made it to Hall H. Oops. Hey, Brad, good to see you. Where's Wayne? Wayne says I made it to Hall H for the first time last year during the strike. It was insane to walk in at the last minute for the Star Trek panel.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you,
because
man.
there was no lines.
Right.
Sales were better last year.
B Things is listening to the Audio podcast from the start. He's currently on episode 34. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Oh, so you only have like 40 more episodes to catch up because this is 82.
82
right
or whatever. Kari, how you doing? Yes, getting in late. Excited for Terrificon. Yes, we'll see Kari. She'll be out there with her podcast co-hosts. Yeah. Very cool. Remind me, Kari. I apologize. I want to give your podcast a shout out because you guys do a good job when you all get together and review and talk about comics. Let's see. G. Carone says he also picked up Den 2. Love Corbin. I'm so happy at owning these out of print books. Absolutely, man. Yes, thank you, Kari. Everybody, it's the Splash Pages podcast. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, yes, I've heard of it.
Very nice show. Very good show. I've had the pleasure of being on it with Kari and the guys, and it's a great show.
Yeah, it's a great lineup for Terrificon. I'm excited to kind of be there. I think I'll have great crowds, honestly.
No, I'm looking for. Although we got bummer news today that Walter Koenig will not be joining us at Terrificon.
Yeah,
but the gentleman's 87 years old, and kind of like Stan. I mean, I hate to think like this, but it's like
Flat Stanley.
Yeah, it's like, all right, man. You're 87. I mean, I want you to make money, but like, please take care of yourself.
He could have sucked it up though, and gotten out there.
Yeah, he said he had COVID.
Yeah, well,
No, I know not.
That guy in the Olympics. He ran the relay with COVID. Come on, and he got a bronze. Suck it up. You can.
How about all the swimmers swimming in the Seine and it's all polluted and gross?
Yeah,
and the French are like, yeah, go ahead. Nah, go ahead. Everything's fine. Yeah, but the E. coli levels are really.
The French make love with their faces. Who cares?
Ha ha. So
yeah,
unbelievable.
I found out things about the baguette because of the Olympics.
Do I want to know?
Well, yeah. Do you know why the baguette is so thin and small compared to like the regular loaf of bread? Because
you could put it in your pocket.
At one point they passed a law that you couldn't start making bread before 4 a.m. Because of the workers. They were trying to protect the workers. This was way back when. So the only thing that you can bake in time for morning people to come by was the baguette. So that's why it rose so much in popularity in France. And I'm like, I didn't know. See,
that's a good one. I have to admit, and maybe I don't think I have said this on the show because the last time we talked was during the last Olympics.
That's right. 4 years since we potted.
And I'm sure I've told you guys this before because I know we all hung out in Skokie when the opening ceremonies for the 2012 games were happening. But
I do not remember that.
Well, early 2000s, I worked for Sporting News Radio, and one of the things I had to do was produce this semi-daily feature of this women's sports anchor and essayist. Her name was Donna DeVerona, and she was an Olympian when she was a kid. She was a swimmer. Her sister was not Judith Light, because Judith Light's from Amanda. Who was the mom? Joanna Kearns on Growing Pains.
Yeah,
that's her younger sister. Donna's younger sister was Joanna Kearns. So anyway,
I remember this. Yeah.
Donna was great. Donna was really cool. She's a really, really smart person, and it was really always an education. Listening to her essays, and I would record them. She'd remotely do them from her home.
So
And
those
then
were like the first podcast ever?
No, it was this was a feature on Sporting News Radio.
Oh, okay.
And also, well, they would post them on the website, so kind of they were de facto podcasts. And she would just tell me these horror stories about the international organization of the Olympics and the American organization and how corrupt they were.
Oh, I heard that they were awful. Like,
well, the classic one was when Mitt Romney was in charge of the Salt Lake Games. Say it,
Salt
Franco.
Lake City, but not Salt Lake. It was in New York. Go ahead.
No, there was the Utah Games.
Oh yeah. Salt Lake City.
Yeah, not Lake Placid. No, I'm talking about the Salt Lake City Games.
Sorry.
They wanted to do like an accounting of how the money was spent, and the American Committee's like, oh, we destroyed all of our records. What? Yeah, we destroyed all of it. Why? Unless to cover something up.
We don't want you to find out what we did.
Exactly. So I've that, and also I hate the way NBC covers the Olympics and have since the triple cast 32 years ago in 1992. ABC was great, and pre-internet. Okay, we're live from Innsbruck, Austria, and it's 3 a.m. in the morning, but we're showing you the 400 meter relay race because it's live sports, essentially live news.
Yeah, that was
NBC turned it into a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to show you the results until prime time. And it's like, F you. And especially as the internet, I remember the 2000 games and the 2004 games of the summer games and stuff. And it's like, I want to know who won. Well, we're not going to show it until tonight in prime time. And it's like,
I think this year, I didn't watch any, so I don't know. But I think this year, and people could correct me, chime in if I'm wrong. But this year, what they did was you could watch them live on the Peacock network,
right?
But then they would save the really cool stuff, I guess, for prime time for those of you that didn't want to watch it then. But also, I heard that the Peacock website was also, or app was really cool because it was all broken down by different sports, and you could search them all and look like you could watch breakdancing from that Australian person, which is all over the place.
Yeah,
I think, but I'm not sure.
No, I've been I've laughed at a lot of the controversies that have happened.
But that and what is the football UEFA or whatever FIFA, yeah. When they go in and they build these, the Olympics even more so. When they go in and build these places, they spend so much money of their community to build these places, but then with the hopes, we'll be able to use it afterwards, but then they never do because there's so many things that they have.
They end up imploding them several years later because nothing happens at them. No, you're right. I mean, and again, that's what I'm saying. And LA is getting the games in. Is it 28?
Yeah, I think the next one.
28.
Right? Yeah,
it's bad. And it's funny.
My friend just said to me last night, "Oh, we should get tickets to go to LA for the Olympics." I'm like, I've been in regular LA traffic. I'm not going there with the Olympics. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. We tried to get, I think it was the 24 games. And we were in the running. Chicago was in the running, and I'm very relieved that we didn't get it. Hell, this weekend was insane. We have a Metallica concert this all weekend from Friday through Sunday at the Bears Stadium, Soldier Field. And my God, Friday, I had a late doctor's appointment that ended at like 4:45, and it took me over an hour and a half to get home when it normally takes me only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting in traffic and everything because everyone was going to the concert.
Sleep with one eye open, Johnny.
Now, what are you going to do?
Do you see Tom Cruise was all over the Olympics?
No.
He was at the women's soccer game last night. We went out to dinner with friends, and they had it on the TV.
Yeah, and then he was at the closing ceremonies. He jumped off some real high thing on a bungee cord, and then
did he really?
Was waving the flag around because it's going to be in LA next time.
Did he really do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I heard.
I have to look for the video for that. That's hilarious.
But when he was at that women's game, like I was talking to Kendall, my wife Kendra, and it's just kind of awkward because he and my dad was talking about this too. And my mom, I think he doesn't even see his own daughter, and then he's at these like rooting on these women's sports and stuff. He didn't even go to what's her name's graduation.
Yeah, they're kind of like his daughters, the soccer players.
Is that Katie Holmes's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you do that? You don't need to do that.
Here are some comments. Kari says, do you guys remember when they decided that the Olympic ice skating was so well watched that they had an ongoing show with professional figure skaters in the 90s?
Mm.
I don't, because I don't follow the sport, but I'm not surprised. And I mean, whatever. B things, pardon me. I heard that some people have suggested that the Olympics should be permanently moved to Athens. I would love that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But I kind of also like that they're all. I also used to like when they were all in the same year, the Winter and the Summer Olympics. So you would get in February, you would get the Winter Olympics, and then a few months later, you would get all the summer stuff. And then they
split them up,
broke it up, so you get it every 2 years, and that's annoying, kind of.
It's very annoying.
But also, here's something that you're going to be annoyed at, Johnny.
I'm already annoyed.
I know this was the very last Olympics for boxing. They're not going to have boxing in the Olympics anymore.
There you go. And yeah, boxing has been mistreated by the Olympics since 1988 when they screwed Roy Jones out of a gold medal. And they had the controversy this year with the female boxers. And yeah, it's gotten incredibly stupid and annoying. And if they are discontinuing boxing as an Olympic sport, that's a real slap in the face. And because going back to ancient Greece, it was one of the original sports.
I think they more than made up for it because they added breakdancing, Johnny. So, you're losing boxing, but you are gaining breakdancing.
Thank God.
Did you guys watch the men's basketball finals? It was actually
but I heard that France gave them a hell of a game.
Yeah, it was like close with like 3 minutes left because the U.S. is loaded with all these NBA guys. But then Steph Curry just went off and made like 4 threes in like 2 minutes, and they were all contested. He's like shooting over guys. It was crazy.
Yeah. I saw those highlights. It was nuts.
Yeah,
that's funny. Wow, that reminds me of, and again, showing my age, the 72 Russians versus the U.S.
Oh yeah, where they cheated. Yeah.
Yes, and they they wouldn't allow like several baskets in the final seconds.
Yeah.
And this is when the college kids were still on the U.S. team, not the pros. Yeah. That's great. There's great footage of all that.
Yeah.
And Doug Collins, our old Bulls coach,
yep,
was on that team.
Yeah, and Steve Kerr was just the coach of the team that won this year.
That's great. I love Steve. He's such a good guy.
Yeah, he seems cool.
Incredibly good guy.
I think the last Olympics I actually watched was the hockey ones.
The infamous one from 1980?
Yeah.
Lake Placid?
Yeah.
44 years ago?
With the Russians, yeah.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
That's the one.
That's what my friends and my cousins and I were just talking about this. Like, people used to have more shared experiences back then because there weren't so many other distractions. Because like my parents still talk about that hockey, watching that game, because like everybody was watching it, and now it's like nobody's really watching it live. It's like, oh, did you see the highlights of the basketball? It's like, oh, I'll catch them later. And it's like, but back then you had to watch it live with people, and
that's what we were just talking about with the magazines and stuff too, man. Because like everything, I'm a big technophile. I like new technology and I love streaming. I watched all the Batman episodes because Scoot yelled at me.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's the way it's been now. It's like I've said this before. My son doesn't really watch TV. He watches his phone.
Yeah.
There's none of those shared experience. Like, the new Batman animated movie, series. You yelled at me to watch it because I hadn't watched it yet, and I was able to watch them, binge them all in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
Way back when we didn't do that.
Yeah. You just watch like one episode at a time, and you talk. Well, in my case, we talk about it in school the next day, but it was like building that anticipation. I feel like for me, at least, the last show that was like that, where my coworkers and I would watch it like live and then come in. It was The Office. We'd all watch The Office, and then we'd come in the next day to work and be like, "Oh, did you see The Office last night?" And everyone was still watching it. But that's way back in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah,
and
way
I feel
back
like
then.
that all died off around that time too. Like,
well, yeah, again, with streaming and
Yeah.
time shifting and everything, and no, it's a different thing. I'll admit, and I'm happy to talk about Batman Cape Crusader. I've only seen the first couple. It's amazing, and I don't mind spoiling a little bit with you guys. I've been okay with the gender swapping of the various characters and other choices of changing their ethnicity or whatever. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I think it still works. I thought I will say, because it was the first episode, I thought the female penguin was really interesting.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked for me.
I felt like that was the roughest episode of the whole series, that first one. It was like, compared to where the show goes later, that one was a little bit, if Franco can probably talk about it too, like when you look back at all of the episodes as a whole, that one kind of like,
I agree.
it didn't really fit as well as the other ones did, but it felt a little bit more campy, which is fine, but it gets really good, Johnny, later.
I think, finding their footing and getting off the ground, it was still a good episode. I think overall the series was excellent.
Yeah, me too. I loved how it like really picked up then, and it gets like super like, it's just got all the classic like I don't know, like the Batman interactions with the police. I love that when they're like uneasy about him and they kind of have to let him go because he's helping people. I love those moments, where they're supposed to get him, but he's like doing good work, so they kind of let him go.
Yeah.
Cooper says he's only seen the first 4. Wayne says, for me, Twin Peaks was the main subject we talked about in the comic shop back in the day. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's a good water cooler kind of show, definitely.
Was it like halfway through the season where he actually got a yellow belt? Because he didn't have a belt in the first couple of episodes, right? Or am I mistaken about that?
No, he had the yellow belt, the whole time.
Oh, really? Because I thought maybe the first couple episodes he didn't have it.
No, he had
I do like the year one approach to it. And, I mean, obviously, the telltale signs of where things are going, having Harvey there as DA.
Like, isn't this supposed to be like a continuation of the Robert Pattinson, Batman, basically?
Well, I think thematically, but it's like that movie took place like in modern time, and this one's obviously supposed to be taking place in like an alternate 1940s or something.
Well, just a quasi, just like the 90s show.
Yeah, but even more than the 90s.
It's a Gotham that has old technology, but also new stuff as well.
Because the 90s did like mixed things. Like he still had like computers and stuff. He doesn't have any of that stuff now.
That's true.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool to see him do like all the detective stuff. And I love how they give like Harvey Dent a lot to do, even though they do like a different take on him where he's kind of like a jerk from the beginning. Not really.
Well, they did a different take on everybody, and I know some people would get upset with it, but I love the Harley Quinn that they brought out. I love the costume, and I hope it evolves into a second season and see where it goes.
Yeah.
But I love what they did with a lot of the characters.
Well, that's the big question, because again, Warner Brothers finances are all over the place, and the mere fact that they dumped it off onto Amazon, I mean, Amazon's got the bucks, and if they want, it reminds me of what happened with Young Justice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Warner Brothers didn't want to make it anymore. And then they saw the ratings and they're like, all right, I guess we're making more of this. Or DC didn't like Young Justice because it wasn't following New 52 continuity. And it was like, well, we don't care. We're doing a classic interpretation of the DC universe. And, again, having done Warbler for 19 years, Brubaker's the showrunner. He's my friend. Mark Bernardin wrote an episode. He's my friend. J.M. DeMatteis wrote an episode. He's my friend. Greg Rucka wrote an episode.
Right. I was going to say, wasn't Greg Rucka involved too?
It's second episode.
Abrams and Bruce Timm, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought
it's great. And James Tucker. It's Tim and James Tucker really handling the hands-on animation, producing, and everything. And come on, man. I mean, obviously, Bruce's reputation speaks for itself. But I think James had a nearly 20-year run as the main producer of all the DC animated stuff, and James is brilliant too. I mean, they got the best people.
Yeah, I like that it deviates. I was hoping,
Yeah.
it needs to feel like its own thing, because I saw people complaining like the animated series is still better, and it's like, no, they're two different things. It's
Yeah.
not like this isn't trying to replace that. This is just like an alternate version of Batman that looks like that style, but it's not the same thing.
Brad, I agree with you. But because it's film noir and it's 1940s, I've been turning off the color and watching it in black and white. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
cool.
it's still very muted anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, when you watch it, the whole color palette is very
I agree.
muted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of black suits and stuff, not a lot of like colorful
Right.
villains. But then when they do add color, like with Clayface, he wears that red scarf on his face. It like really stands out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the look for Basil Karloff or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Basil Karloff. Yeah.
Karloff, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I love the casting, or at least what they wanted him to look like when he's not Clayface.
Yeah.
And everything.
And Catwoman was cool. She basically wore her classic costume, which is kind of neat, that purple and green costume.
Yep. Yep. No, I think it's terrific.
And then Johnny, you didn't get there yet, but there's a big cliffhanger at the end, which is like leading into. There is a season 2. I read they're already making it or something. A season 2.
Oh, I'm so relieved.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear. Because man, it's like
because they tacked on this like cliffhanger at the end, and I feel like they didn't need to do that if there was not going to be another season. But it really gets you excited for the next season.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
And then
you know what I haven't started watching again, and they're 4 episodes into it. The Ark on Sci-Fi Channel.
I've seen them all.
And I love that show. I loved the first season. Is it still good?
Yeah, they get into a little bit more. Well, the whole show is sci-fi, but they get into a little bit more outside of sci-fi stuff. But more sci-fi, if you could be more sci-fi than that show. But yeah, it's cool. I'm enjoying the series. You know what I did watch as well was the as Artie likes to call it, the Acolyte.
Oh sure,
the Star Wars show. I finally finished that up, and I know a lot of people are dogging on it and hate it. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I liked it a lot. You know what I did not like was the main actress, the one, the twins.
Yeah.
I think that's why I wasn't liking it. But then as the series went on and we got to the end, and I'm like, oh, those are some bold choices. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Oh, they did that too. I'm loving it. I just can't get past her as the I don't think she has emotional range or anything. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not liking her, and I think that's why I didn't like the show.
Francis, it's just like my problem with the Flash movie. It's like, if you don't like Ezra Miller, you're probably not going to like this movie. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly how I felt about The Acolyte. I could not get into that actor, and no disrespect to her or them. And but regardless, it's like, I don't care about this person.
I thought it was a bold series. I thought they made some really bold choices with I liked it. It was an interesting idea, and I'm like, oh, when they're, again, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for anybody, but maybe we could spoil, right? I mean,
we always spoil stuff on here. It don't matter.
Yeah. So when it was revealed, spoilers. So
what was revealed?
To turn it off. Did you watch it, or you're not gonna?
I bailed on it because I didn't give a damn, and I'm like, all right, I'm indifferent to this, and
anybody that
I don't want Star Wars to become indifferent for me, but that's how it's becoming. Go ahead.
Turn off now if you don't want to spoil. But I was thinking in my head, the main actress, if they took her and made her like she was made out of the Force, basically, the twin.
Oh, she was a construct.
She was a construct. Well, not really, but she's real, but was created through the Force,
like Anakin.
But I thought, what would be really cool is if it's the same person, and that's what they did. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So basically, the two girls are not two girls; they're one girl.
They're aspects of the same person.
But they made them two separate people, and I'm like, that's cool. That's a cool idea that I thought of early on that they should do, and I'm like, but they would never do that. And then also killing off like almost the entire cast was just great.
Halfway through, they did.
Yeah, And even by the end. So I'm like, this is ballsy. I like it, and that's what I wanted from Star Wars. But again, the thing that ruined it for me was a main actress. I just couldn't, feel anything for her. She didn't,
It's like the Obi-Wan show where, and truly, I feel horrible saying this
Yes.
because I
Yes!
really want. Yeah, exactly. No, believe me, I know everyone's listen. I sound like I'm in the Archie Bunker fan club when I say this, but the woman that they introduced in Obi-Wan, the third sister,
Right.
that goes from being under Vader to doing her own thing and stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't think this actor is up to the role, and I'm not feeling it from that character because of it. And that's how I felt about the Acolyte, and it bums me out because these are actors of color, and I want to be supportive, but when they fail, in my viewing opinion, just because I'm not interested in their character or their story, it's like you blew it. You blew it. You
And
know,
Star
it's
Wars-
Jennifer Garner, and I know she's white, but when she came on Alias, it's like, oh my god, she had chemistry, and you gave a shit, and all of a sudden, I'm as I always say, I'm a knuckle dragging Neanderthal. I'm the first one to admit it. And the last thing I wanted to watch was a chick spy show, and yes, I was that dismissive of the idea. And then I watched the show, and I totally got hooked in, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a great show, and Jennifer Garner is excellent in it. And hell, Gina Torres. There, I'll save myself and say Gina Torres of Angel and early Alias, and also Suits, is a fantastic actor.
Firefly.
And she had the gravity.
Firefly?
Yes, I believe she was in Firefly. Yes. I'm not as well versed on Firefly as I am the other shows.
I love Firefly.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's like, no, get a strong actor. And Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk, she's funny. I like her. I liked Orphan Black.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to stay with the Orphan Black sequel series
Oh, I haven't watched it.
because I'm not feeling it for that show.
Yeah, the other thing this Acolyte continues of the tradition of Star Wars, unfortunately, and it didn't matter who has it, whether it's George Lucas or whoever, started with Episode 1, the bad kid actor, Jake Lloyd, and then in that Obi-Wan series, the bad Leia, the little kid actor, was bad, and then this movie, when there's these flashbacks of the girls, the actresses are bad when they're kids.
Well, not only the kid actresses I didn't like, but I didn't like the adult version.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, in addition to them, it's like that was like, it's always so like jarring when there's a kid and the acting is bad because it takes you out of the scenes immediately.
Much like the most recent season of Doctor Who, and the new science advisor for UNIT is this now. And forgive me, Franco, because maybe and I'm leaning on you to know more about this. I don't know if that little person is a child with a very bad speech impediment or a adult actor who has a very bad speech impediment and is a little person.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but regardless, that character is annoying and it's weird, and they gave that character like a rascal to get around in, but it had a weapon on it, and it's like if Fisher Price made a real working laser gun. That's what the prop looked like that the kid was or the person was riding on. Yeah, I don't know, man. I again, it's like, if you can't find somebody to really play this part and make us, I don't know. I'm only getting in more trouble as I object to these attempts.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yes, yeah, you are actually.
I didn't mind that, but
when he would talk and he had that, this is bad. We need the tonic. It's like, woo. Oh, and there Wayne. Wow, and I know Wayne was a big fan of Orphan Black Echoes. Doesn't have the hook that Orphan Black had for you to care about the characters. Yeah, man. I mean, and again, that was Tatiana. I mean, she was incredible. She was playing like 5 or 6 different characters at once.
She was amazing in that show. Yeah.
Oh my god! And man, that was like one of my favorite San Diego panels. Was her first year representing Orphan Black, and everybody just went nuts. And it's like, this is a brand new show, and immediately everybody was in love with this woman, and it was so cool to see. So,
well, yeah, I started watching that show, but then, like, when you learn about the show and learn about her others, and you're like, holy crap, it's the same woman. and she looks completely different, and she acts completely different with each one. So
Yeah.
it's just amazing. She was just amazing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think I think they need to do a better job with some of these, because I loved. I didn't like The Acolyte. I honestly didn't. I almost kind of gave up on it, and then I was talking to somebody who said, "No, stick with it for a little bit." You know, through some action stuff, or I read something online about one of the episodes, and I'm like, let me go back and read it or watch it, and I really liked the story. I liked almost everybody in it, the main characters, except for the lead. And the other Jedi were weird, like the one with the haircut, swooped off to the side, and some of the other Jedi's, that were assistants to the bald lady with the whip. I don't know. There's just some weird choices with casting. Or maybe that's me.
Yeah,
Just didn't feel for
I
them.
don't know what to tell you. Here, I'm gonna real fast. I'm gonna text Avery. You guys keep
Oh,
going.
yeah,
Yeah.
he hates us.
I think Artie liked it. I was talking to him about The Acolyte. I think he liked it.
Yeah, he was talking. I was talking to him about it in San Diego, and he liked it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made me want to come back and watch it.
But he didn't like Andor, which I did like.
I thought Andor was slow
But
as
it was good
molasses.
though.
And you saw the stuff at D23. They're going to do another Andor. They're doing Grogu, the Mandalorian and Grogu
Hmm.
movie is coming out, and Skeleton Crew is coming out in
Yeah,
December.
that looks cool.
So I didn't see anything about that either, and that's Jude Law.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Like if you get somebody like Jude Law, he's amazing.
Yes, and the preview looks good.
But now they're going to hire some crappy actor that's going to be like, opposite him or something like that, and it's going to be like, oh,
especially if it's a kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that Skeleton Crew has a lot of kids in it too. Do you see that?
No, I didn't see anything about it.
There's a trailer out, and it's like there's like 4 kids in it. So we'll see how good they do.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh no. Things would be awful. But yeah, I'm excited for all the
me too.
The stuff. I'm also one of my favorite movies. They announced it at D23. One of my favorite movies, animated movies ever, is Lilo and Stitch, and they're doing a live action version of it.
Yeah.
So I'm skeptical.
Yeah, that's one that's been popular lately. Again, it gained like more popularity with streaming and stuff. But yeah, that's a good one. Their live action ones haven't been that good, so I don't know why they keep making money. I know that, but
well, I understand it because it's a whole new generation that hasn't seen them. Maybe.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm real skeptical of the live action Lilo and Stitch, because that's my favorite animated movie. I love that one so much.
Wayne says we should be watching Kite Man. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna get to that.
I will too. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I love the Harley cartoon.
Yeah, I got to still finish watching the Harley Quinn because I haven't seen the last.
Oh, it was great. It ends well. Yeah, it's quite good.
Does it end?
No.
So
says that I've seen all these Disney films remakes as live action films, and I'm completely uninterested in them. Yeah, I'm with you. I heard you guys saying that when I was Tex Savering, and yeah, Lilo and Stitch. By the way, and I'm very curious. I was watching, or I didn't watch anything because I don't think they were streaming anything, but I was looking at the various announcements for D23, and I really like, and I forget her name, the woman that plays Agatha in Scarlet Witch.
I love her.
She's
like,
a great actress.
Such a crush on her.
I think that show's gonna bomb so hard.
Catherine Hahn. Yeah.
What's her name? Catherine Hahn?
Catherine Hahn, yeah.
Yeah. I think that show's going to bomb so hard because as I saw someone describe it, it's like, why is Marvel streaming a TV show about the Fantastic Four's babysitter? And I realized that they introduced her in a different way in the Scarlet Witch show. I don't think she's an interesting enough character. I do think she's a great actress, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong, and I will certainly watch at least the beginning of it to see what it's like. Mm-hmm. But I'm again, it's like I think you guys wasted a lot of money on something that
I like her in everything I see her in.
Sure.
And I have such a huge crush on her.
I get it.
I've told my wife that there's a possibility if I ever meet her, we'd have to run away together. So
She's on the list.
She understands.
She's on the list.
But no, I have such a and I really liked her in the Vision Scarlet Witch show. I thought she was great in it. So
I did too. I just don't think you don't build a whole series about her.
Well, you don't know. You don't know
Yeah,
until
I guess.
Hopefully
But again,
right.
I think that's a hell of a roll of the dice. But I mean, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was a hell of a roll of the dice. So what do I know?
That was 10 years ago, Johnny.
You know what else they announced at D23 that I'm real excited about is the Land of Villains that they're going to be doing at the Disney Resort. There's going to be a new park, basically, and it's gonna be all villains, all centered around the villains, which is kind of cool. I thought that was rumored a while ago.
Okay.
Disney's just so expensive now.
Yes, it is. Stanley wants to know how Mitch is doing. He's getting ready for Terrificon, man.
Yeah.
We kind of leave him alone. And even when we see him, obviously we'll see him in off hours and he'll be okay. But yeah, he's that's a hell of a responsibility, and he always does a great job. But just dumb things pop up, and people miss their planes.
Walter Koenig canceling.
Right. Less than a week away until Walter Koenig cancels.
I'll know how he's doing. I'll know how he's doing on Saturday night at about 3 a.m. when we're having milkshakes. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Wayne says he just watched the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and it's like a modern version of the Dirty Dozen or the Guns of Navarone. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I want to see that. Oh, speaking of Henry Cavill, because he's in that movie. Did you guys watch I'm spoiling stuff. Deadpool, Wolverine?
Yeah.
Did you watch?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, man.
I know. I got to make time for it.
I want to talk about that
before the weekend. Sorry.
But maybe next time.
Well, you guys can do a gentle review and tell me, did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it.
I thought, as I was watching it, I thought, man, there's a lot of inside baseball stuff. No, but there was also a lot of inside baseball stuff. This is not a spoiler thing, but when they show a lot of Wolverine covers in real life. So I'll just put it that way. So as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is a lot of inside baseball stuff, even the stuff that they're talking about. I'm like, how would anybody outside of comics really like or know this? And my wife was with me, who's not a big comic book fan, and she loved the movie. She thought it was great. And I was explaining to her all the stuff afterwards. And she goes, oh, that's interesting. That's cool, because to know. But it didn't really affect the movie-going experience for her. So.
Yeah, my dad came with us, and he loved it. He's laughing. So I think sometimes when there's that stuff that goes over his head, he just kind of expects that, and it doesn't really tie to the story too bad. So he still follows along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about, the inside baseball, inside comic stuff.
Yeah.
Was ooh, how's this going to go across? But yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. It'll be on streaming soon, Johnny. Don't worry.
No, I'll see it in the theater. I will. I just I had a busy week, and I'm going to do my best. So I have not.
Before you come out to Terrificon, or else everybody's going to be talking about it.
I have not interviewed Alan Weiss yet. I hope to, and I will post it when I do. He's an excellent artist and storyteller. I'm still actually trying to convince Alan to come on Word Balloon. He's very sweet. He's incredibly kind, but he doesn't understand why I'm interested in talking to him. And I'm like, because I'm tired of hearing third hand from podcasters and bloggers who weren't there tell me about what it was like to work for Marvel in the 70s without any actual frame of reference. I'm like, you were actually there. You know these people. My favorite punching bag that always gets crapped on is Vinny Coletta. And he's like, oh, I knew Vinny. I actually have some good positive stories about Vinny. I'm like, yeah, that's my point. I'm like, you have that. You don't have, he erased all the Kirby's lines. He's a horrible guy. It's like, shut up. Shut up. All you've heard are the legends. You haven't heard the whole story. I don't want your uninformed opinion. Thank you.
Yeah. You got to emphasize that by adding bitches at the end of that sentence.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
bitches.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well said. Well said. Oh, you know what? I was telling you, Franco, off the air. I watched, although Shame on me, but I watched that raunchy Jennifer Lawrence comedy from last year. I can't remember the name of it now.
Where she dates the boy.
Yeah, where she dates the boy.
Yeah, I still have to watch it. It's on my list of stuff to watch. Yeah.
I mean, it was spectacular seeing her naked on the beach. I won't deny that, but yeah, not that good.
She's like a 30-something-year-old woman who's trying.
Well, that's
to,
kind of the idea of the movie.
Well, no, I mean, dating. She's hired to date this 19-year-old kid or whatever.
Right.
But I get that that's funny, and I'm still gonna watch it, and I'll still laugh if it's funny, and I want to watch it. But if the roles were reversed, that would have never been.
That would be horrifying.
That would be horrifying and never be made, right? I mean, I don't understand that sometimes. But.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we want you to deflower our daughter. Yeah. What? Mm-hmm. What? But again, that was the point, that they're trying to make a raunchy movie, and it's funny because I don't think they know how to make funny raunchy movies anymore. Yeah, and I don't want to rely on stereotypes.
Yeah,
but it's I don't know what's missing, but it's it really feels like since oh god damn it, the Bradley Cooper movies with Zach Galifianakis, The Hangover. Yeah, the Hangover movies seem to be the last raunchy movies.
Right. Yeah. I wonder why that is. Is it like money or political correctness? Or
I think it's political correctness. I think all the studios are scared.
Right. It has to be.
That's what I think.
Because Deadpool and Wolverine, just goes nuts, right, Franco?
Yeah, but it's not raunchy. It's
kind of raunchy.
Is it though?
Yeah, he's always talking about different things penetrating him and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just, I don't know. When I think of those, I think of Caddyshack and those type of movies like
Animal House.
What Porky's? Remember Porky's?
I mean, Porky's was crap. Let's be honest. Porky's is a crappy, even though they made 3 of them.
Right. But
yeah, but I'm saying
The Hangover. Now that I'm thinking about it, the Hangover movies are really the last ones that were kind of like that. So, yeah, Deadpool's rated R, but it's not raunchy, so to speak. Maybe did I miss all that? I don't know.
Right, and Cooper's right. Cooper says you couldn't make Tropic Thunder today. Absolutely not.
Right.
And Kari says I watched Pretty Little Liars, the TV show, and it was like the entire town just felt that adults dating or having relations with high school girls was fine. It got creepy. Interesting.
Well, wasn't that also like the Archie series was like that too? Like, wasn't he stuffing Mrs. Grundy?
Yeah, Archie, in the first season, yeah. They got away from it though. Yeah, that's and again, it was woman dominating man. Yeah. Rather than the other way around. And again, I'm not asking for Lolita, believe me. Hello, Lolita.
Yeah, because that won't even be released. Did they not release the last one that they made?
Oh no, with Jeremy Irons and what's her face and oh god, the guy who played Zorro back in the 70s, great character actor. I can't think of his name. He was Dracula in 1979.
Franklin Jella,
thank you. Franklin Jella has the Peter Sellers role in the one from the 90s.
No, but there was a newer one. I think there was a newer one, even newer than that, like within the last few years, I think.
I didn't know that. I thought the 90s one was the last one somebody did.
If only we had this handheld device.
Exactly. I'm going to look it up while we're talking. Hello, Lolita.
But I think there might have been one that they didn't release, a newer one. But I could be wrong. But as we both know, I usually am not.
No, usually not. So I'm not.
I wish my wife would understand, because I tell her I'm never wrong, and she constantly disagrees with me. But I need you to do a confessional and tell her that I am never wrong.
Well, the only 2 that are listed are 97 and 62.
I think so, because they didn't release it.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. Yes, I knew that, Cooper. In fact, we talked about this on our show. The Frank Langella Zorro is on YouTube. And a week or so ago, I did a Zorro episode. and we absolutely discussed the Langella Zorro. It's basically a remake of the Tyrone Power 1940 movie with a TV movie budget. And Montalban plays, do you realize, the Basil Rathbone role in the movie.
Now, Frank Langella, isn't he like an amazing actor? But wasn't he also canceled recently?
He did something that I don't know if he survived it or not, because they're up there. That's like Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman is really old now.
Yeah.
He's like in his mid 80s.
Yeah, like
I don't know
87 or something like that, right?
Yeah, and maybe even late 80s or now. I don't know if he's coming back from his cancel experience or not. And I would say Langella might be in that same area. I'm not sure. Here's Artie. I forgot to send him here. I'll tell him.
Yeah. So
he wants to.
I was going to say about Frank Langella. That guy has played Dracula. He's played Zorro. He's shown full frontal nudity in one of his movies. I remember that was a big deal because you saw little Langella.
Yes, we did in that movie.
Yep. And he was Skeletor, for crying out loud, too.
Yes, he was.
And he was a good Skeletor.
Yeah, he's the best part of that movie.
He was a great bad guy on Deep Space Nine in that 3-part episode.
Uh-huh.
No, he's amazing. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
He's quite good.
See? He's yeah.
But yeah, no, he's incredible. I'm sending Artie the link. Why odd?
So anyway, yeah, I gave away the spoiler thing about the Deadpool. Sorry, Johnny.
That's okay. I don't mind.
Cavill, but yeah,
I don't mind. What streamer is Henry Cavill on?
What's that?
What streaming channel is the Henry Cavill show on?
Oh, I don't know.
Attaboy. I'm sure Wayne will tell me.
He doesn't have a show. I don't know what you're talking about there. I'm confused right now.
I thought you or the movie, whatever. Ministry of Ungentlemanly War.
Oh, I gotcha.
Is that a movie or is it a TV show?
It's a movie. It's probably streaming somewhere now.
Coop says Amazon. Thank you, Cooper.
Yeah. I want to watch that. I want to see Fall Guy too. I haven't seen that. I don't want to see that. I know that's on Peacock.
Yeah, the kids and I just watched If.
Okay, did you watch it?
Yeah, the kids and I did.
Was it good?
I thought it was all right, yeah.
Was it Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, or was it totally different?
Kind of, but I don't know. So it got different elements. It's more like adult themes and stuff.
Because what I couldn't understand was the main character, the main imaginary friend in If, was named Blue.
No, one of them, yeah.
And that was the main character in Foster's Home, which I loved. That's a cartoon series that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think of it really when I was watching it. I mean, I know when I saw the trailer originally, I thought like it sounded like Foster's, but when you watch it, it's just kind of different than that a little bit. I don't know how to describe it, but
I finally started watching a bit of Mythic Quest on Apple, and that's a very good show. And I know I'm a couple years late.
Mythic Quest?
Yeah, Mythic Quest. It's about a company. It's about a gaming company that makes video games. And it's like a workplace sitcom that takes place there, and it's pretty funny. It's actually very funny, and very nerdy in a good way.
Do you think that raunchy comedies have been taken over by, I guess, raunchy TV shows? But there aren't any really raunchy TV shows.
I don't think there are any raunchy TV shows. I mean, there are from a dramatic standpoint, but not comedies.
Yeah, like
Yellowstone has the hot naked lady in it.
Yeah, I guess, but they're not raunchy though. That's more like a soap opera with nudity.
Or Sydney Sweeney's show,
Euphoria.
The kid show with Zendaya's in it too.
Euphoria, yeah.
Yeah, Euphoria. Thank you.
Because I know my wife watches Bridgerton, and that's like that Shonda Rhimes make-believe history with a lot of movies.
And there was that. It didn't. I think it got panned. But Johnny Depp's daughter was in that show called The Idol. And that was very raunchy.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of raunchy, look who joined us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Oh, Yeah podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 38.
Swig.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So we're going to wrap up now. Thanks a lot for watching.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Thank you, everybody.
hey.
I'm the closer. I'm like Goose Gossage.
Exactly.
Closing
We're
out the
calling
game.
you.
Goose Gossage.
Just
It
take
is
one
like
pitch.
Wally Fingers without the black mustache.
Goose. How does
Goose
he get the
Gossage.
name Goose? Why don't they call him like duck or chicken or something? Why is it a goose? Like Chicken Gossage. Swig to Wayne. Wagums, Wayne.
Man.
What'd you have for dinner, sir?
We went to Pilot Pete's.
I know that joint.
Yeah, it's a restaurant on a little airport. It's on the runway. Well,
Where they have little planes and stuff. Yeah, that's Chucky's neighborhood too.
yeah, I mentioned Chucky today. I said Chucky goes because we passed by that hot dog place that's now a pizza place, and I remember you saying you guys went there. What's up, D. Brad? And but
Oh
that
yeah,
was
the
cool.
Firehouse Dogs. Yeah.
Now it's a pizza place. Yeah, but it's Gordy's 21. He'll be 21 on Tuesday. But we were all home today, and if we tried to go dinner on Tuesday, my wife was gonna be tired and she works, and I never know when she's coming home. She has orientation this week, so she'll be getting home 7, 8 o'clock at night, and it's not cool unless we order pizza. But he wants to go out somewhere special,
Yeah,
Sure.
man.
But we went today. Yeah, it was real cool.
I
Yeah.
can't. He's
What'd you order?
21 now, right? Yeah. So I
Yeah.
can't wait till we go out and he can buy me drinks now.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, yeah. And he makes money now and then. He sells shoes, so I know he has some money.
Sells shoes.
Sells Nikes. Yeah, Air
Al
Jordans.
Bundy.
Yeah, like Al Bundy. Yeah,
Carries the Chicago tradition of Al Bundy.
yeah, that's right. He's keeping it going. Yeah.
Yep.
Raunchy
Did you,
show.
Artie, when you were growing up, did you have a shoe store that everyone on the South Side went to?
Yes, we had Glazers.
Nice.
It was on
Glazers.
55th and Kedzie, maybe. And it was funny because I ended up going to high school with the guy's daughter, and I
Glazer's
didn't
daughter?
know. Yeah, and then when we went to her house, it was the same guy. Like, hey, you're the shoe guy, from when I was a kid. So
Sure.
that was kind of cool. But
Ours was
yeah,
Chernins.
yeah.
And it was in a mall, and right next to it was a putt miniature golf course, Parkade.
Nice. Yeah, and they would have the shoe measurer.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got to.
Yeah.
I'm hearing everything twice. Let me noise cancel these. Let me noise cancel. What's already
Okay.
Did you guys have Tom McCann out there by you guys?
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had stores that would sell Tom McCann shoes.
No, we had a Tom McCann store. That was my shoe
Well,
store.
we did.
Yeah, we
Tom
had
McCann
one.
stores.
We had
Yeah.
one in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had by my parents' house. They had Przynskis, like AJ Przynskis,
Sure.
and that's where my kids got all their first shoes.
Oh,
And,
wow.
I knew when I grew up, I had to wear hard shoes until I was like in second grade because I had like weird feet. I still have.
I had weird feet too.
Yeah, but I
I
had
had
real
arch supports
thick
in
shoes.
my shoes.
Yeah,
I had
yeah, me
metal
too.
arch supports. Yeah.
And they had to keep putting that pad in there to make your heel or your arch go up.
Yep.
I have real nice arches now. I could probably win contest, feet beauty contest.
Hot.
I bet I could. Paint the nails a
Stanley
little
wants
bit.
to know if you're going to Terrificon, Artie.
No, I want to, man. I can't. I'm driving my son back to college this weekend, so I'll be in Charleston, Illinois, and then next weekend I'll be in Michigan driving my daughter. So these 2 weeks for this month are like this month is taken up, and but next year I heard Terrificon was at a different. It's early in August, right?
Right.
August 6th or something. It looks like I can go.
Oh,
Possibly
good.
I can go. Yeah, I gotta make sure, but I probably could because Gordy will be graduated, and Audrey, I don't know when she goes back, but if she goes back the same like this, so I should be good, man. Like but that San Diego, man, I don't know what I saw you guys were on, but I didn't listen. I don't know what you talk about, but man, at San Diego, like it takes me longer, more time to recover. I was sore a week and a half later, but the way it is, like it's like you land, you get home, you get the flight, the taxi, the coming home, bringing in luggage. You're sore from head to toe, like every muscle in my body. I felt like, did you guys see that Hugh Jackman movie where Deadpool when they showed his abs? That's the way my abs felt. But
All bruised and everything.
Didn't
like
look
Bruce-
anything like that, though.
No, I know what that feels like now because my whole core was sore. Like, and even the tips of my fingers, like I felt a rubber band all the way from this finger all the way, and that was so sore. and I would just come home and just stretch every day, like stretch your arms. But the last thing to go away was the body, like the abs and my chest. I was like, man, I don't know, what does this feel like? This must be what sit-ups feels like. So I've been trying to work it out every day. I've been looking at ways how to do sit-ups without doing a sit-up. So you got to lift your legs and do some dancing. So I've been dancing in front of the TV while watching the Olympics. So it's going away now. But I finally, like 2 days ago, I finally felt no pain waking up. It's the first day in like weeks.
I get it.
It hurts, man.
It hurt. Yeah, I was telling them, I was like, it took me about a week to recover too.
Wow, yeah. And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to eat, or I just want to drink water and just not eat, because I want to be hungry, because I feel like when you're hungry, you like reset. I don't know what it is. Like if you're full all the time, and like that got Jim Gaffigan, he does comedy. He says, we eat so much in America, and he says that I haven't been hungry in 12 years. But that's what it felt like going to San Diego, because you eat and then go to sleep, and you're just messed up in the morning, and you're like, why do we do this? But it was cool, man.
Any good celebrity sightings?
We saw. I only remember Orange Cassidy. He walked past us. Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, he walked past us, and then the
wrestler.
He didn't see us, and then he turned around at the end of the aisle and came back. And I remember we made eye contact, so I just looked at him and I went like this.
Yeah.
Well, like that, he gave me his version of a thumbs up.
Yeah, I yelled orange, and he looked at me, just went like that. Just a head nod. He was real. He was chill. He was in character the whole time. He had his hands in his pocket while he's walking. But yeah, I don't really recall seeing many celebrities. I saw a girl who I thought was Topanga. So
that's right.
We were at the
from Boy Meets World.
Yeah. Because in there's a new show called Girl Meets World about their daughter, and Topanga and the Savage Boy.
That's Savage, yeah.
They're the parents. Boy. Savage Boy. I know he's my Wonder Year.
Fred's younger brother, Ben.
Yeah. So my daughter watches that, and every time I watch, she gets irritated with me, because all of the moms on all the Disney shows are all the girls we had crushes on in the 80s and 90s. Like Topanga's the mom, and then on the other one is that yellow Power Ranger that you almost picked up, Sonny. I mean, Johnny. Remember the girl you rode with the yellow Power Ranger? Serena Vincent, is that her name?
Oh yeah, I didn't know she was a Power Ranger. I love Serena.
Oh, I met Amy Jo Johnson.
We met her. Oh, wow. She was walking, and I said to her, "Hey, you look like the Pink Ranger." And she goes, "I am her." I go, "Wait, you're Amy Jo Johnson?" She goes, "That's me." I'm like, and then
that's great.
She was like,
she's
she was out of
and still hot.
Yeah, she was cute. She was.
That's great.
She was just walking, so we didn't want to bug her. Like,
did you also see Serena, or are you mistaking Serena for Amy Jo?
No, because I'm saying, like, all the girls who are to play the moms now on my daughter's Disney shows.
Is she a mom now? Is Serena a mom now?
She's on one of the shows as the mom. She's.
Oh my God!
It's called 8 in the Middle or something like that.
And for those pervs out there that want to see her naked, that's in Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, and then there's what's the girl? Thiessen. What's her? She got 3 names.
Tiffany Amber
Thiessen. Yeah. So she's the mom on the new show, and I like watching these shows. And every time I see Audrey watching them, I'll just say, "That's Tiffany Amber Thiessen." And she goes, "I know, Dad. I know." That's kind of like what my dad did to me. That's Glenn Ford. So when we're watching the other show, I just say Topanga, and she went, "Dad, I know. It's not about her this time." And I went, Topanga. Then I'll get my coffee and leave. And then same with that's a Yellow Ranger. She goes, "Yeah, I know, Dad." So.
Serena is like the nicest woman, truly. And it blew my mind that we met her at the old FX Con. FX?
Yeah.
The Orlando shows, yeah. And then like 2 months later, she was at a Wizard Chicago show. She's like, "John!" And I'm like, "Oh, aren't you sweet?" I'm like, "My God."
If you were a cartoon, you would have.
Yeah, you meet a million people and you remember. She's like, "Well, you're cool." And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, little did she know, right?
Yeah. If you were a cartoon, you would have floated up and floated down.
Like Muttley, absolutely. Yeah. Exactly, like Muttley.
So we were at this party. DC Comics rents like a patio, like part of a restaurant.
Sure.
And they serve hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff. And you could go there instead of paying $100 for dinner. You go there and eat
Yeah, that's what I heard. Keep going.
Yeah, and so we're at this party and we're schmoozing and everyone's Palmiotti's coming by, Tim Seeley came by, just people we know are like all gathering. And so I look over and I see this woman who looks like Topanga. I'm like, that's Topanga, has to be Topanga. I know it's her. So I start texting my daughter. I said,
well, you asked me, and I'm like, I don't know her well enough to know that that's an educated guess.
Yeah.
I said I don't think it's her, but yeah.
Yeah, everyone at the table said maybe. But there were nobody said no. Like it might be her. So I texted Audrey and I said I think Topanga's at this party. And she went, "Oh my God, get a picture! You got to meet her." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I took a picture, the creepy photo, like, and I sent it to Audrey. And then I said, "What do you think?" And she says, "I'm not sure. It might be her." I'm like, all right. She said, "There's only one way to find out, Dad." She wrote hashtag Baltazar Charm. She said, go use it. I'm like, all right. So then I saw one of our editors talking to her, Katie Kubert, from the royalty line of royalty. Katie Kubert, the granddaughter of Adam or Joe Kubert. Joe Kubert, yeah. So she went over there. I'm like, all right, I know. There's my in. I know Katie. So I went over there and started talking to him and talking to both of them. And I said, I said, I have a question, weird question for you, but are you Topanga? And she went, who? Like Topanga from Boy Meets World? She went, no. She said, don't you mean a young Linda Hamilton from Terminator? I'm like, oh, but I said that works too, but no. I said, all right, here, I gotta confess. Here's what's been happening. And I said, I gotta let you in. I said, here's me creeping on you. I took a photo of you. And then she went, oh, and I go, but look at the text I have with my daughter. And she went, oh, that's so cute. And then she said, your daughter thinks I'm Topanga? She said, yeah. She said, I don't know either. So I said, are you? She went, no, I'm not Topanga. I forgot. Her name was Nancy. My name is Nancy. And
hello, Nancy.
Hello, Nancy. And I think I might have said that too. Hello, Nancy. But she was the girlfriend or she was wife of somebody. And so I even asked her, can we still take a photo? Because like you look just like Topanga, and I need to send it to my daughter because we need closure on this. And she went, okay, sure. So she was real cool, and we took a photo. I still have it. So she's one of my not celebrity meetings.
You know who she's dating is Andrew. What's his last name? He did I think his last name is Aiden. I'd have to look it up.
Oh, I have
Andrew
no idea.
Aiden. He did the book with John Lewis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, Anthony Aiden. I want to say Anthony Aiden, right?
I think it's Andrew Aiden.
Or maybe it is. Again, I'll defer to you. That's
he was telling me that he did.
But definitely Aiden was the guy who did the book with John.
Yeah. And he was telling me he does some DC license stuff or something. I don't. Maybe some animation or something. I don't really know. I can't. Don't quote me, man. But he did something like that. He's working it. But I thought that was a pretty cool encounter. And I said, "Odd, should I use my charm?"
Yeah, I like that you were being creepy, but not in a creepy way.
Yeah, I said, "Here, I gotta confess."
I'm glad you explained yourself, and she was cool about it.
Yeah, she was funny. I'll send you guys a photo.
That's funny.
So I'm going to send it to you right now. I don't know if you could put it on the show.
That reminded me of something else I saw that I wanted to ask you guys if you saw, and I can't remember what it is now. Damn it.
Don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was another TV show or movie.
I'm going to send you guys the photo, but I don't know if you can put it on the show now. Here it is.
No, what you ought to do is just hold your phone up, and I can zoom in on you.
Oh, I could do that too.
Do that. I'll zoom in.
Yeah, this is me. Here, let me get it larger. This is me and not Topanga. See, she looks like her, don't she?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I get it.
She told me she looked like a young Sarah Connor.
I think Topanga had different eyes.
Yeah,
only for your eyes. But
also in our defense, we were actually pretty sober.
Yeah, this was. Look at there's still sunlight. Yeah.
Is that in front of
I really did think, huh?
Is that in front of the baseball park? Is that Petco?
No, that's one of those restaurants on the boardwalk.
Across street.
By the ocean, by the boats.
Yeah, behind.
Behind. Yeah. I love walking that short boardwalk or whatever the hell it would be. There's so many cute little restaurants and shops and everything right there.
Yeah, that's good. We only went there to go to the DC thing. Most of our things were close by.
Well, also, my God, I was reading about how much the hotels are charging. Man, they are going to make that convention get up and walk away and go to Vegas.
Well, there's rumors
because,
every year, and this year there was articles about it, about them, like, price gouging, that they're thinking of walking away again.
I mean, it's $20 for a hot dog at one of these hotel like things, and it's like, man, you guys are jerks.
Every morning, I got a cup of coffee and a Red Bull and like a croissant or whatever bread thing they had.
$80.
$35 every morning, and like, I don't know what to do, man. Like,
I hear
coffee everywhere, $7.
No, you got to go. You got to go to Ralph's and get food there and walk it over. No, man, or go to that. Go to that one bodega that I always would when I was with you guys and do sandwich runs, because maybe they've raised their prices ridiculously.
Everywhere you went, everyone had the same price for a bottle of soda. Was the same everywhere. I think they all got together. They all got the memo this year, and I already the morning I left Tuesday. Show don't start till Wednesday. I left Tuesday. I stayed up all night. I got the 3:00 Uber to the airport. That cost like $80. Then I had to check my luggage, was $190. Then I went from the airport to the hotel, was another $40. And I went to go eat lunch. It was $80. I spent all of that. I spent almost $500 before the show. Before I even got my ticket or my bag. Yeah, I said, man, this is awful.
No,
I don't know what. I was telling my kids this, and I'm like, how much money does the world expect a comic book artist to make? Like how much money? Like, and then the room was like, oh, $300 a night. You could afford it. Like, man, how much money? Like, so when you sell the stuff, we kind of broke even, I'm thinking, but I don't even want to count because I don't want to.
Honestly,
get sick later.
I don't. I haven't made money. There's only like 1 or 2 years where I've actually made a profit in San Diego.
Yeah.
In all the years, and I've been going for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And I don't make a profit, but that's honestly not why we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rough, man.
Yeah, I could have. You go to definitely the schmooze, man. The schmooze was on high this year.
Sure.
I had a meeting on Wednesday around noon, and it was the meeting of a lifetime, and all good stuff. And then on the way in, I talked to my publisher, and they told me a whole bunch of cool stuff. And so I got to the table Wednesday about 3 or 4, and I told Franco, I could go home right now. I don't even have to set up. I could just leave. So that's why you go, though. You go to schmooze and have lunches and, get bump elbows and whatever they call it.
Sure.
And but it's worth it. Like, but it's not just this one time. It's setting up all this stuff for the last 10 years, and schmoozing is, it's a continuation. It's a relationship with everybody who's in the business. And
how many years have you guys been going? Like 20 years now?
I've been going since like 94, 95.
Oh, so even longer.
I'm horrible with this. When was the first year that I went out? Do you remember?
I remember I went a few years. I went once with my friends, and then once with other guys, and I would share tables. But I've been consistent since about the year before Gorilla came out. So it was around. No, I had to be 95. It wasn't around 94, 95. And then after in early 2000s, maybe you finally came, because I went there a few years by myself. Then I kept telling you for 2 years, you got to come. And you're like, no. And then finally I told you're coming. And then you said, man, I should have been coming all this time. But then you never skipped since then. And we've been in that Artist Alley spot for at least 15 years since in that one spot.
Wayne is telling me you guys are holding out on a celebrity encounter.
Oh, yeah. Flash Gordon.
Oh, Flash Gordon. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I got it.
Explain which to Flash Gordon. Spell it out for the people.
Sam Jones. Yeah, Sam
Jones. There you go. There's the name I was looking for.
Well, in our defense, that was like the first day of the show.
Yeah.
One of the first days of the show, so it was really early in the show that we forgot all about it. But yeah, he was cool. We did a sign with
awesome.
him. Yeah.
And even when Paper Cuts asked, would you guys want to sign with Flash, with Sam Jones? We're like, yeah. And they gave us a list of times. They said, what day you want to sign? I said, I want him first. I don't want to get him Sunday afternoon where he's already been through.
Oh, he's tired.
I want him fresh. And it's like, so we got the first signing like Thursday at like 10:30 in the morning or something. So
that's great.
Yeah, he was awesome. And he did a little shout out for me for my YouTube show. And then
great.
Famous Cartoonist Says Things. And I found DJ Lance Rock from Yo Gabba Gabba. He did a shout out for me, and so did Michael Uslan did a shout out for me. So I got 3 real good videos.
You get some good celebrities.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. So I met all those. DJ Lance Rock was real cool too. He's the hello friends. You're watching Yo Gabba. He's that guy. He was on the show, and I told him all about watching the show with my kids laying on the floor. And I said they're all like 18 and 20 now, but when they were like 4, 5, and 6, man, we watched that show. And
Sure.
I took them to the concert, and the coolest thing is like DJ Lance came onto the stage. It was the actual guy from the TV show, and he performed and he sang and all this. And then Biz Marquee came out there, and with the concert was all little kids, and they dropped balloons and bubbles and stuff, and they had lights and sound effect and all this stuff. But when Biz Marquee came out there, he's beatboxing because he would do that on Yo Gabba Gabba, and then all of a sudden the piano came, ding, 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 ding. You know that, oh baby you. He started singing that. You got what I need, and all of the parents stood up. Yeah, and all the parents were all doing that wave, and then the kids were like, "Wait, you know him?" Yeah. That was so much fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
yeah. With
go ahead, Franco.
I was going to say with Sam, I got a text from my buddy Reno, and he goes, "Oh, he's such a Queen fan, and he likes Flash, the movie." He goes, "Would you be able to get me his autograph?" And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." And I completely forgot. Like when we were doing the signing, I completely forgot. So the next day I remembered, Rita wanted me to get him an autograph. So I went to go find him because he had his own table set up, and started talking to him. I said, I feel like such an idiot. I was supposed to ask you yesterday. He goes, and he was like, oh no, whatever you want for your friend is my friend, blah, blah, blah. And he gives me a signed picture for him. But he also had pictures of The Spirit that he did, the movie that he did. And I said, yeah, I said, not for nothing. I said, this was the definitive, Eisner, Will Eisner Spirit for me in the movies, because the Frank Miller movie wasn't really Spirit. But and he goes, oh yeah, I had a great time with that shoot. And he was telling me, it was supposed to be a pilot for a series, but then they turned it into a movie instead. Blah blah blah. And I said, yeah. I said, Nana Visitor is the woman who's in there with him. And I said, she's going to be at Terrificon. I'm going to be out there in a couple of weeks. Oh, Terrificon, Mitch, blah, blah. He started talking to me. And he goes, so you're going to see her out there? And I'm like, I plan to. She's going to be at the same show. And he goes, here, this is what you do. And he pulls a stack of these photos, and he signs them all. And he gives them to me. And he goes, here, give these to her and tell her to sell these at the show. They're from me. But you take one and make sure that she signs it for you for free. He told me. So I got a big stack of signed photos that I got to deliver to Nana Visitor.
And Mary said sell them for $100 with both autographs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you said this publicly, Franco. I was going to tell you off the air. I got to talk to Nana on Thursday night.
Oh, cool.
She was awesome, and I'm so glad you said this publicly now, because then I don't feel bad, because I'm like, hey, it's kind of not my news, but I want you to be aware that a stack of signed photos from Sam Jones are coming courtesy of Franco.
Oh, you told her?
I had to. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to spoil your surprise, but I just wanted her. And I go, now, God forbid he forgets to.
Yeah,
I forgot him.
But
thanks, Johnny.
But God bless her. She's like, believe me, I've done that. I can't tell you how many shows where I've intended to bring something and it's sitting at home and stuff, and I forget to bring. I'm like, we've all been there. It's all right.
Luckily, you're not that far drive. You could drive home in case you forget.
Yeah, God forbid. Yeah, I don't expect him to do that, but no, she was awesome, and she was great and told stories on people who watched and can listen to Word Balloon. It's the latest episode. You can hear her describe. I got to put the videos up. Her and Armin Shimmerman, Quark, and Principal Snyder from Buffy.
Did you have them on the same show or two separate shows?
Two separate shows. They were amazing. They both were amazing, and so giving of their time and funny stories and really interesting stories. They both talked about their stage careers as well. I didn't know Nana's father was Bob Fosse, the choreographer and director's assistant.
Oh, I was going to say not Bob Fosse. Wow.
Yeah,
I know that name.
Artie, he made a Chorus Line and All That Jazz were
Nice.
big Bob Fosse movies from the 70s.
What was the movie that was based on him? Directed
All That
by him.
Jazz. All That Jazz. With Roy Scheider playing him, yeah.
Yes.
And then they made a biopic of the comedian Lenny Bruce with Dustin Hoffman, and he was the director of that. Valerie Perrine is in it, naked.
Oh, yeah.
Very hot. Very hot. Oh boy, Miss Tessmacher. Yeah, no, it's she was amazing, and Armin was really interesting. He was on Beauty and the Beast with our friend Ron Perlman back in the day. He was one of the underground dwellers with Vincent.
Ooh.
Did you ask him my question? Because you
I think so. What was your question again?
what was it like to be part of so many big franchises like Buffy and Star Trek and Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that? I think
We
is what I
Spawn.
I don't think I asked him that in general question.
Oh, great. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah. So, well, you'll see him at Terrificon this weekend. So you can.
Man, I wish I could go. I got invited to all kinds of shows this weekend. There's fan expos this weekend too in Chicago.
Yes, it is. Although it's interesting, much like last year, a lot of big names bailed.
Really?
And aren't showing up. Johns isn't coming. Brad Meltzer's not coming.
All the
Mike
Star Wars guys will
our
be
friend
there.
Mike Gold isn't coming.
I know Anakin will be there, and Luke, and Ahsoka, and the guy who plays Ezra. Is his name Ezra? Yeah, Ezra. He'll be
Ezra
there.
Miller.
No, Ezra. The guy who plays Ezra on Star Wars. His character's name's Ezra.
Oh,
Hey,
I don't know.
Artie, we talked about this before you came on, but
Yeah.
did you see all of Acolyte?
Yeah, I did.
And did you like it?
Alcolite. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too. We were just talking about it
Yeah.
because I finally saw it,
Yeah,
and I really liked it. I love what they did,
yeah,
but I disliked the main actress, the one that played the twins.
The twins.
yeah. She was not very.
It made me dislike it
she
so that I
didn't-
wasn't going to watch it. Yeah.
She didn't light up when they showed her. Like, it's like you see Jack Nicholson as the Joker. You're like, bam, that's She didn't have that. She didn't have that pop.
Or
That
even
charisma.
or more recently, Wyatt Russell in the Monogram or the Monarch show that was on Apple about the Godzilla people. Yeah, you need it. You need that kind of electric
You
actor.
know who did it? The best guy in her was the bad guy. But the problem is I don't know anyone's name. Smilo Ren. They call him Smilo Ren. The bad guy, the Sith guy.
Yeah.
He was the most interesting guy on there. Him and the other guy, Soul.
Hey Johnny, did you ever watch The Good Place?
Yes.
Yeah, the bad guy in Acolyte was the
Yeah.
the guy
The
in
bad
that.
demon?
He was in there too. He was like
he was in The Good Place. He
he
played
was
What's
like
he-
an angel or something.
he played the dumb hipster guy, like
He was like a Mahi Rishna guy. What do you call that? Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's
he was
in
one of the
America.
four guys. He
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
he
You
was
know
like
the-
the fake. Yeah, he was the fake Tibetan monk
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
that
it,
turns
like,
out
the-
he's a real knucklehead instead. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that guy. I like
Yeah.
that guy a lot.
After the Sith guy talked in Alkalite, I was on his side. I'm like,
Yeah.
Sith sounds way better than anything else.
Well, that's just the thing. I'm watching this, and the Jedi are jerks, man.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I kept hearing
The
too.
more Star Wars stuff that comes out, the more I'm siding on the side of the Sith
Yeah.
with some of these things.
The thing that everybody was mad about, I understood it, but it didn't upset me. I just like my reaction to most of the episodes were like, oh, they did that. Wow. Okay. Let's see how that plays out. You know?
As I said to the guys earlier, Artie, it reminded me of, and I know you liked the movie, but it reminded me why I didn't like the Flash movie. I loved Michael Keaton in it, but Ezra Miller, I don't like them. I don't like the way they characterize Barry Allen in the Snyder movies.
Oh yeah.
And further, I don't like the actor. And it's like, well, if you don't like the main character, you're probably not going to like the movie. And it's like, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't give them credit for that great scene at the end of the movie of The Flash when he's talking to his mom and he's sad because he knows, he's going to have to let her die for the world to be normal and everything.
Yeah.
And,
Usually,
oh my God,
actors,
that's a great moment. But annoying Barry Allen, it's like, yes, he is annoying. I don't want to watch him for 2 hours.
Yeah,
The younger version of himself.
Yeah.
I
thought
just
he did good because he played both guys different.
I understand. Yeah, but I just
Usually-
I didn't agree with the way they wrote the character.
Yeah.
I don't like him being. They made him like Wally in the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah, a little
And
bit.
Barry is a different character than Wong.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And again,
Like,
we were talking about it with the Cape. Have you watched already Amazon Cape Crusader?
no,
The Batman show?
I've been watching. I only could watch that on my upstairs TV. I don't know why I can't log in here, but I've been
It's real
watching
good.
Sopranos. Every time I watch the upstairs, I watch Sopranos. So I've been watching that, and Tony wants to get back with Carmela, but she still wants a divorce. That's where we're at right now.
I love that Johnny asked you, "Are you watching this new show?" And you're like, "No, I'm watching the show from 20 years ago."
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sopranos.
for the 30th time.
Yeah.
Actually, I only saw it the one time. I saw it only one time when it aired, so it's all fresh again.
It's a great series, and
It's
I certainly
an awesome
go back
show.
and visit other great series. I don't blame you.
Yeah,
It's all right.
but I'll watch Batman. I saw that I was gonna watch, and I thought it was gonna release one episode a week, and
Me
then
too.
when I saw the whole thing, I decided I didn't want to watch it because it was too much. Like I saw it, like
So you're not going to watch it at all?
Oh, I will, but it wasn't
Okay.
time right now. Like
It
I
wasn't-
could have watched.
You
if
can
I
watch
could-
them one at a time, but
Yeah,
Right,
I don't know how
I know.
great it is. Exactly.
But
You don't
when
have,
I saw all of it, I'm like, oh no, it's too much. So it's like I like what Star Wars releases one week because then you can watch it and digest it and think
Yeah.
about it and then look at the internet and watch everyone hate it and wonder why they hate it and stuff. And then so I'm like, wow, I had a good time at 2 a.m. watching this thing but I watched Batman, but I just didn't have time. I've already heard why everyone hates it and why everyone's mad at it, but
I think it's great.
Yeah, we
yeah,
all
I'm
liked it.
gonna watch it. Yeah, and same with you were talking about before, like when actors do weird stuff or they um act up online or get political, whatever. I could kind of separate that a little bit. Like I
Sure.
don't. It doesn't enter the
Equation.
story to me. Like
Yeah.
people I forgot where it was, but I told somebody I did my George Clooney joke to him, and then they yelled at me a little bit. Well, he's this, and I'm like, whoa. I don't know what George Clooney just did, but she didn't like whatever he said online, so I stood away. I don't want to know whatever he did.
wow.
But so stuff like that I could separate, and even when people hate stuff, I know they changed characters around and different colors and different shapes and sizes and genders and all, like whatever. But
I mean,
watch it.
I don't know if this creator is like Alan Moore for you, but I have to admit all the Neil Gaiman revelations are shocking, and it's kind
yeah,
of
I've heard about
the
that.
nerd culture's even. Well, I suppose
On
J.K.
the-
Rowling is also part of the nerd culture.
On the
But
Batman
it is-
show,
What's that?
on
Yeah.
the Batman show, Neil Gaiman.
No. There's real news.
Oh, the
about
real guy.
Neil Gaiman, the real guy, and accusations of sexual harassment,
Oh,
and they're bad. The accusations are bad,
yeah, I don't know anything about that. So
and
I'm
it's
sure I
wonder
could research.
I wonder how the fallout from that is going to affect people's enjoyment of Sandman and other things that he's made over the years. If that's going to be a
Yeah,
difficult decision, the way
Yeah,
that Harry Potter now is.
That Sandman series on Netflix, man, it was so good. I loved it so much. That's something I'd rewatch again. And
Was
Yeah.
it animated or was it
No,
live
No,
action?
it's,
live
no,
action.
it's live action.
Was
You
it
should
still
watch
on
And
there?
there's,
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on
yeah.
there.
I didn't know
And
it
there's
was a thing.
and there's an audio adaptation as well that Audible did. That's very good.
But watch
Um,
watch the Netflix series. It's amazing. I
I read
loved
some
it
of
so
those.
much.
I read some of those back then when they were coming out.
I just started watching The Boys too, because I see
The last
Stanley,
season.
Yeah, Gordy's into that one. He likes that
So
one.
I started that. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes in right now. 2 episodes in.
It's I watched the whole thing. It's fantastic. I think
Voice?
I think it's still amazing, and it's the one TV show that still shocks me when they do surprise moments, and I'm like, Jesus.
If my grandma made the movie The Boys, she would call it My Boysies. She used to call me and my brother her Boysies.
Anthony Starr, the guy that plays Homelander, is the most amazing actor, and he just with his eyes will have the most psychotic moments in. And right now in his brain he is seething, but he's got to keep his cool and not literally snap off somebody's head or use his heat vision to blow up somebody or fry somebody. It's
So he's
it's
like
like
Superman.
it's a combination of Superman and Captain America if they were psychotic, but the public, some of the public still thinks he's a great guy. Some of
I
them.
want to watch. I just got to find it. I got to hunker down and strap it down and sit down.
That's another one on Amazon.
Yeah, that's another one that's only on the big TV. I got this giant TV now in my living room, man. It's like covers up the whole...
Bigger than the last one?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
It's real big, 85-inch TV.
Oh my God.
I got a sound bar. I didn't know what this like soundboard. I kept calling it this, and the kid, Dad, this is not a soundboard. I go, what is it? It's sound bar, and I got a woofer that's behind that I put right behind my wife's TikTok chair. So when we're blasting the sound, she's like, what's going on? So the first movie we put on was
two woofers right here. They both
Artie and Scoot, because I know Franco has no interest, but have you watched the Pete Rose documentary on Max?
No,
Pete Rose?
I want to.
No, I'm gonna watch it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna though. I have a lot of stuff I want to watch.
Scoot, you're not gonna watch it?
No, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I want to.
I've been watching the Olympics. I
understand. I understand.
Sorry.
No. And I want to hear what you think of the Olympics in a second. But the Pete Rose thing, what amazes me is, the gambling stuff, fine, and it's good and it's very detailed. But it's the early stuff when he was still playing for the Reds and the Phillies. Oh my God, there are so many little nooks and crannies about various seasons for both him and the teams he was playing for that I totally forgot. I totally forgot in '73, and I know this is before Scoot was born. But and we were young already.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was
that the Mets and the Reds were the ones chasing the pennant that year.
Right. Yeah.
And that was Yogi Berra's managing Met team, and it was Willie Mays' last year as a player. Period.
Wow.
And there was like really like an intense. Well, first of all, for the pennant, for the National League pennant, that was an intense 7 games.
Yeah, the Reds were amazing. Still one of the best teams, like Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Jose Cardenal was on there.
No, but Joe Morgan and Tony Perez.
Yeah, man, I remember that. I remember watching.
Yeah, the big red machine, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sparky Anderson. I love Sparky Anderson. He's my favorite manager all time.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Him and Earl Weaver were good. Yeah,
and tough as hell. But no, it's fascinating. Really, really great stuff. And then because of watching that, it made me rewatch on Netflix the Yogi Berra documentary. It Ain't Over.
Oh yeah, I saw most of that.
That's and again,
yeah.
Oh, and I mean, and it's hilarious, and it tells a lot of funny stories. But you really forget how great of a player he really was. So great, and such a clutch base hitter, not a home run hitter, but a clutch base hitter and stuff.
And these guys live baseball; they breathe, live it. Like that's all he knows. That's all he wants to do.
That's all he needed to know.
When you come across a fork in the road, take it.
That's right.
Exactly.
Pick it up. Yeah, give it to someone who's hungry. There you go.
He said, I forget what he's. That place is too popular. Nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, he had all those sayings, right?
Yep.
I like that they interviewed like his granddaughter and stuff. That's all cool stuff. When you hear,
all those people from his family. Yeah,
that was real cool. I got to watch the rest.
It's
I watched
good.
only half.
And the closing credits, they play that Terrence Trent D'Arby song. It ain't over till it's over.
Oh, cool.
So it's fantastic. It goes in with the strings at the beginning and everything. That's a great song. It made me laugh.
He has the best scream in that song too.
And also Artie and Scoot. Although again, I think this is more of an Artie memory than a Scoot memory. Ooh, I've been watching on YouTube old episodes of This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen.
This Week in Baseball.
How about that?
Exactly. Baseball, 1979. The Phillies come back with power. While
yeah,
and that music. And yes, the end, Artie. That's exactly it. The end of the show when they play the really majestic like NFL films music. And they have all the great action, both hits and defensive plays, all in slow motion. And the guy's running for base. And
Dave Parker throwing a guy out from the outfield, all the fly ball all the way to home.
Oh my God! It's all of our players, man. When we were kids, I'm like, oh, this is the best, man.
Like they were almost like our action figures because we had them all on cards. Like, oh, I know this guy. They're like our superheroes.
Yes.
You know?
When Artie 100%. And I were in San Diego, when we would get up in the morning and get ready, we'd always put on a movie, and one of the movies we saw was Naked Gun.
That's true.
With Enrico Palazzo.
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
Reggie
Jackson.
Yeah, but they had all the announcers, and Mel Allen was there.
Yes.
and
Kirk Gowdy.
Yeah.
They had a real long line of them. They hit
Kirk Gowdy's crying into Jim Palmer's shoulder. I'm sorry I yelled at you this morning.
Yeah, that was funny. They had X-Men on every day. X-Men was on every day because of the Deadpool movie.
Oh, God.
And then one day was that baseball movie. Yeah. Or the Naked Gun.
That's funny. I must kill the Queen.
I must kill.
O.J. Simpson, yeah.
Yeah.
Montalban's the bad guy.
Yeah, he is. He got run over too.
Yeah.
Right, the steam, and the steamroller rolls over.
The same way my father died.
George Kennedy.
The marching band.
Yeah.
We used to love watching those.
There was that scene where George Kennedy gets all upset at the guy and he goes, "That's it. I'm not taking this anymore." And he pulls out his badge and his gun. He goes, "You want to go man to man? Come on, let's go man to man." And then they cut to Leslie Nielsen. And then they cut back. And George Kennedy's sprawled out on the floor.
Got beat up. Yeah, the bad guy's all right. Come on. Yeah,
that's enough. That's enough.
Man, I haven't seen that in years. Probably.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
Since I'm a teenager.
What's and was it the second movie with Robert Goulet? How's My Little Hellcat?
Yep.
Oh.
Mr. Poopy Pants.
Mr. Poopy Pants.
They're making new ones too, right? Of that.
With
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson to be Frank Drebin. That should be interesting. Although Liam Neeson's funny when he does comedies.
Anakin, down. He's going to yell that in the movie. You're all longer.
Again, I don't understand why we have not gotten a Qui-Gon prequel movie.
Oh, I know. I really hope that there's rumors. I think it might have been fake, that there's going to be like an animated of Luke Skywalker, that like in the style of the Jedi Tales. Oh, but I don't know if it's real or not.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Those are the characters everyone wants, like Han Solo, Chewbacca, Leia,
Han and Chewie adventure.
Yeah.
I literally said that to Quark and Kira from Deep Space Nine, where I'm like, everyone would love either an audio drama from you guys or more animated stuff, because they did an episode of Lower Decks.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that in the Ahsoka show that Luke shows up again. You got to bring him. You already showed him two things, so you got to bring him because they're supposed to tie all these movies together. They announced the big guy from Rebels is going to be in there. The Chewbacca prototype guy. Yeah. I forgot what his name is now. Zeb. He's supposed to be in it. They already said he's going to be in the movie.
The Mando movie.
Yeah. But man, they just make them good. It's all I want. Just make all this stuff good. Like they make it like, oh yeah, let's throw Yoda in there and let's see how the fans react. No, don't. You're gonna separate people, man. Some people are gonna go, oh, that was cool, and guys like me watching them like, whoa, I didn't. And I'm like, let me give it half an hour and I'll go on the internet and see what they're saying, and like stuff like that. But whatever. Kimati Undi caused controversy. People never knew about this guy until this show. Kimati Undi. We thought the Sith were extinct for millennium. I remember like about 80 years ago, you heard a conversation, it's like you forgot about that. Just mind wipe them. The Sith guy mind wiped that girl. That's a new power too. You can just mind wipe.
Yeah.
She didn't know who she was.
Remember in Rise of Skywalker, you can heal people too.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then Grogu, they had to throw that. They made that in a Grogu power after that. Like, oh, I got you. Remember he healed Apollo Creed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do the little hand thing. That was good though. Those 2 seasons were good. The first 2.
They were good.
Excellent. Yeah. I like them all.
I'm gonna have to hit it. I gotta.
Where you going? The show just started.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. It's like showing up late to work. You get a late day
tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. But no, I don't.
I got nothing, man.
Not anymore.
I still got stuff.
Nope.
I do have some commissions.
Oliver wakes up at 6 a.m. every day.
Does he?
Yeah.
They back in school yet?
No.
Labor Day.
He's off next week, and then he starts the week after on Thursday. So the 22nd, they go back.
Is he excited?
No.
They don't hate it. No. Summer.
He's at that age now where he doesn't. He's 3rd grade, so.
My kids are waiting. Man,
it was great meeting Oliver finally.
Oh,
when you went down for the signing.
Artie got to meet him too.
Yeah, we got to team up. Yeah, we teamed up a few weeks ago. Yeah.
He's drawing quite well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He made like $45 there that day.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He sold his drawings?
People kept buying his stuff, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a lot of money for.
Yeah, I
he's
know.
8 years old now.
He probably spent it already too.
Bought more toys.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he bought. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. And we just had 3 signings in a row, 3 weekends. And last week we had Gavin was there. Gavin Smith, his name is.
Oh yeah,
Garrett.
Cool.
Gavin Garrett. I forgot.
Gavin.
I'm sorry. It's Gavin something.
Gavin
But
Smith.
I remember meeting him at the Muncie Con first time. Yeah, that was cool. That was a good time.
Attaboy.
Liked it all. I like it.
We can. Layla's good.
No, you guys can hang out here. I'm just leaving because I'm getting tired. But...
No, we can wrap up. We did 2 hours. That's all right. I mean, I already only did 45, but it's all right.
Yeah, 45
We'll be back
hours.
again. We'll be back again before 6 months is up.
Yeah, I'm sure by the harvest moon you'll find us again. Podcasting
the ghost stories.
Oh, you know what we forgot again is ghost stories, but that's all right.
Son of a bitch.
That's okay.
Oh, I got a ghost video. I caught a ghost on video.
Well, let's talk. We'll
I
talk
never
about
showed
it
you
next
guys.
time.
Got to talk about it next time.
I got to edit it a little bit. I'm going to show it.
All right,
it's going to be good.
Follow
Sasquatch.
us when you see us. Until next time, I like Pink very much, Lois.
I like Pink. Be nice to each other. Stop crying. You guys are awesome. Okay, bye-bye. Oh yeah, Scoot. You asked me what I had for dinner.
No,
I
you have
had
to say bye first.
I had shrimp in hot pasta sauce.
Oh yeah,
that's what I had because I told you where I ate instead.